says hi. Hi, Blue. Hi. We're in a new set today, so there might be sounds there haven't been before. I will try very hard to cut out as many of them as possible.
Mm-hmm. But yes, we are now in the little alcove I created in my basement.
Yes. We don't have all the soundproofing up.
So this will be interesting.
So here's hoping. Yay. Anyway, this is episode 109. What?
Yeah.
Yay.
What's the episode called again?
The Witch is Back. It's a play on The Bitch is Back by Elton John. Yeah.
That's why I didn't... Oh, Elton John wrote that. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What I'm excited about is the original air date for this was December 16th, 1998. It is the last episode of 1998.
Woo!
Yeah. Alright. Are we tangenting or are we starting directly
I think
today?
we need to just fucking start.
Start indirectly
Yeah.
today? Alright. No tangent at the beginning today. So, we start out the episode in the past. Ooh. Salem, Massachusetts, 1692.
Mm-hmm.
As you do. There's lots of people outside doing chores and stuff.
As you do.
Mm-hmm. And we get an interesting shot of feet walking toward the camera.
And in this moment, remembering it, because it's been so long, I was just hoping beyond hope that the person we're about to see is the one with the sweet calves. He was not.
Sweet calves.
Sweet calves.
Okay.
In them breeches.
Alright. My favorite is in my notes here about, shows off those period socks and shoes nicely.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Silk stockings.
Uh-huh. That's a different show.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh my god. That ties in so well. That's hilarious.
That is very funny. Very funny.
I was not intending to do that. And for listeners, they have no idea what I have done.
Yep, it's alright.
So, why don't we explain it to them in half a sec?
When we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a mo. So we get one guy taking a very large key out of a pouch and opening what turns out to be
A door.
a door that's like a cell door in a jail, I'm assuming. And we get some lovely rays of light coming in through the openings on that door, which I guess is one way of seeing how dusty it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, pretty much.
That makes sense. And we get a woman standing there in an outfit that any Ren Fair patron would be proud of.
Yes, yes indeed.
It's hard to tell the colors of it, because it's, it's dusty and dark.
But there is some buxom cleavage going on.
Yep, and a white frilly top, covered by a corset that's laced up with a ribbon, and a red skirt that I saw. It looked darker in the beginning. It turns out to be not as dark, but, whatever. And then a necklace that turns out to be a very large locket.
Yes.
And then the dude walks in, wearing a high button-necked shirt
Yes.
with long sleeves.
I would like to refer to him future on as not sweet calves.
You can do that. I'll call him by name.
Okay.
Alright. He has a reddish vest that looks like it's frayed, but that's just the texture on it. It's probably wool.
Yeah.
As you do. We learn that the woman is named Melinda, and the man is Matthew.
Yes.
Yes.
Or not sweet calves.
Not sweet calves. Alright. So Melinda, the woman who plays Melinda, was on a show called Silk Stockings.
Which is why that...
Joke was funny.
Yes.
Yes. And this episode of Charmed
Yeah.
was the last thing that she acted in Hollywood. Ever.
She moved to Florida and became an acting teacher.
Yeah. And she was only an actor on screen for 3
3
years. Yeah, it was like nothing. Yeah, it was kind of fascinating. So Melinda wants to know why Matthew betrayed her, and he says she got what she deserved.
Yeah.
And then we get...
I can see why she went to teach an acting school, because she is such a different class of actor than everyone else in the show.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else is TV actor, and this woman is fucking Shakespeare.
Yeah,
I
she's
think
theater.
they wrote that line later on for her.
I don't know. But the way that she delivers this line, she says, "So you never loved me? All the passion, all the heat?" Like, the way that she said it was, simultaneously the best and the most awkward,
It would have been
moment
good
for me.
in theater.
Yeah.
But it's TV, and the tone registers differently on film than it does in a theater. I'm not exactly sure why, but, it would just work better live.
Yeah. It just, the way it was slightly awkward to listen to, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, whatever. So she asks if he never loved her, and he says that he had to make her trust him so that he could share her powers.
Which apparently trusting him means boning her.
Apparently. And she asks why he would turn her in knowing that she'll burn.
That was the line that registered more for me as being a little more elevated.
Yeah.
You know I'll burn. Mm-hmm. The way she said "be" on burn, I really liked it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work very well for TV.
Well, and it's, historically inaccurate as well, because no witches were actually burned in Salem. They were all hung.
This is true.
Yeah. Fun facts.
Very fun facts. Weren't some of them drowned?
Possibly.
Because it's easier. Like, all that firewood, all that creosote you gotta deal with, you gotta sweep up after. It doesn't last more than one turn. Like, it's just super inefficient. I understand why no one in Salem burned.
Mm-hmm. And burning bodies don't smell very good.
No, they don't. No, you gotta give them a nice spice rub first. Throw some rosemary on that fire.
Oh, Kendra.
Well, also, it's completely fresh meat.
You're so morbid.
You gotta let the meat age.
Oh my god.
So you can actually kill them and roast them.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh, you're so morbid. I love it.
But I realized watching this scene that I knew there was a reason why when I heard the name Matthew, I was like, on any person. Mm-hmm. I've never really liked the name Matthew. Mm-hmm. I just don't. Granted, there was also a kid in middle school who, I had to report several times for being a creep. So there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, never liked the name Matthew.
I don't know if I know any people who go by Matthew. Well, one, but...
Well, they probably go by Matthew, not Matthew.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I know one Matthew, but he usually just goes by Matt, too, so it's not...
Oh, I know plenty of Matts, but...
Yeah.
They don't usually introduce themselves as Matthew.
Yes.
That actually is a little bit pretentious nowadays.
A little bit. Tiny bit.
Mm-hmm. Right, Blue? Is that pretentious? Do you know what pretentious means? He shivers. That's a no.
Anyway, so she asks why he'd turn her in, knowing that she'd burn, and he says that he had to keep his secret. So Melinda says that he can also keep his trinket, pulls the locket off her neck, and throws it at him.
Well, 1692. Those chains are going to be pretty shitty.
Yes, but have you ever tried to pull a necklace off? Even one with a broken clasp. Have you ever tried to pull a necklace off your neck? That shit hurts.
Though sometimes they've come off of my neck anyway. But I've never tried to do that.
Yeah, I have done that once. There was one that it had a magnetic clasp, so it should have been super easy to just pull and it would pop open. I hurt myself.
Yeah, they probably had something rigged up with that necklace where it was super easy to just pull off.
Yeah, probably. Held together with, sticky tape. Anyway, so she pulls off the locket, throws it at him, and he just says that he'll find another witch to give it to, and he opens it, and there's, a pink rose petal inside.
No, it's not a rose pebble. It's a rose pebble. It's not a rose petal. I'd be intrigued if they're a rose pebble. That's not like rose quartz. No, it's a piece of paper.
Really? It looked like a rose petal.
No, it's definitely a piece of paper. The way he handles it and the way it sounds when he handles it, it's paper. And I want to know what the fuck they used to dye it. Period blood? Beets? Were there beets in pre-revolutionary America? I don't know. I want to know.
It looked like a rose petal.
It looked like paper.
It looked like a rose petal.
It was pink. That doesn't mean it's a rose petal. It was paper.
It looked like a rose petal.
Should we start a Twitter poll about this?
I might just.
We're gonna start a Twitter poll. Paper or rose petal? I don't fucking care if I lose. It's paper. Because I don't want my note about beets in pre-revolutionary America to be in vain.
Alright, hold on.
Actually, you know what? Fuck this. Can we start a Twitter poll about how they would have dyed a piece of paper pink in pre-revolutionary America? Beets, period blood, I don't know what else.
No. Charmed Season 1, Episode 9. At the beginning of the episode, what does Matthew pull out of the locket? Your two options are a pink rose petal or a pink piece of paper. We will see what happens. I'm going to put this up right now as we're recording this. And I can have it up there for a week. Okay, 7 days. It's going up now. And now, I'm going to go over to the Twitters. And I am saying, it's a pink rose petal. Vote.
Ha! I voted before you, bitch.
Well, I think we both voted at the same time. And
I know, but mine loaded faster.
Yes. So right now we are 50-50.
Yeah. 6 days, 23 hours left.
Right, Blue? Yeah.
There goes your tail.
Yeah.
There goes your tail.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're getting him riled up. He's gonna try and climb across the...
I'm sorry. By the way, it's a rose petal.
Fuck you. Okay, now that we're done with that debacle, for now, let's get back to the fucking episode.
Okay.
So she tricks him into opening the locket. Well, she doesn't really trick him. But he opens it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a poll result here. Picks it up, it bursts into flame.
There is a pink something that I think looks like a rose petal, and she thinks it's a piece of paper that bursts into flame. As Melinda says, maybe not. Meaning, you know, you won't find another witch to give it to because, woo.
I thwarted you. Ah.
Wah, 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 wah.
Oh, Blue apparently likes that.
Well.
Wah, 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 wah.
Hi, boo-boos. Thank you for kisses. So yeah, so he takes it out, throws it on the ground, asks, what magic is this? And she says she's taking back the powers that he stole from her, and then says this lovely curse thing.
Yes. Very theatrical voice.
Yeah.
As the wind begins to pick up the nice CGI wind.
Yeah, gotta love that CGI. And he screams out a big no as he gets sucked into the locket.
Someone super had some fun with the distortion imposed here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he gets Jumanji'd.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gets sucked into the locket, and then we get a good close-up of the locket, and it's oval-shaped with like a little diamond-shaped red stone on top.
I think that's a garnet.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be a garnet or a ruby. I'm assuming garnet because they're usually cheaper.
Yeah.
But it looks like an oversized version of a locket that I had when I was like 8.
Aww.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. And then we cut to Buckland, and hey look! It's Tan Jacket Floral Skirt Lady outside Buckland! Because, you know, she's branching out from Quake.
She was one of the extras. They're like, we really like your outfit. We're going to have you do more.
Yeah, apparently. Hi.
Mm-hmm. And we go upstairs and we see the locket.
Again, another close-up.
We hear a sound effect that I tell you is very prominent in Fifth Element.
Okay, I don't remember a sound effect.
I actually recorded it.
Alright.
Because I wanted to be able to have you listen to it. That's in Fifth Element. I'm fairly certain. Huh. Or if it's not, it's analogous, so analogous to something in Fifth Element that it just makes me think of Fifth Element immediately.
Interesting.
Which, granted, is a movie I love, but I have not seen it more than 5 times.
How dare you. So yeah, so we get a close-up of the locket again, and this time it's on a tray with some other jewelry being carried by Rex.
And it has not aged a day.
Nope. He puts the tray down on Prue's desk, and we see there are other trays there as well, but, you know, it doesn't matter what the other trays are,
because the camera is not centered on any of them.
Exactly. And this tray is in the middle.
Yes.
Yes. And then, for some reason...
he starts to try and pry it open.
Yeah. He picks it up and
clearly,
tries to open it.
He knows what it is.
Yeah, he absolutely knows what it is, but here's my question. If he knew what was going to happen once it was opened, why would he try and open it in Prue's office?
Right before she fucking walks in.
Yeah, like, yeah. I don't know. But, so, Prue walks in, and today she's wearing her long black jacket over a red, like, shirt-sweater combo thing that was super-duper cute, and dark gray pants.
That are creased down the front.
Yeah, they're very nicely pleated.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Rex's jacket doesn't match his pants. And it's not like one of those khaki pant deals that you get with some, like, yuppies. It's just, they're 2 slightly different colors.
Well, they're both black. He's got black pants and a black jacket, but the black jacket is like
charcoal to me.
Oh, maybe. The jacket is like textured, so it doesn't look like just straight one color. It's got a bit of a texture to it. And he's got a blue shirt with a darker blue tie that has like a brick pattern on it, which I thought was kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. Kind of fascinating, if you will.
I only have 4 notes for this scene. None of them are about Prue talking with Buckland. And they're all pretty short. My notes for this entire scene are stretchy stretch, what a douchebag, super casual drop, hey breadstick.
Alright. Anyway. So she walks in.
Buckland
seems to be startled by her walking in, even though he's in her office. Yeah. He says that he's left her a few things to catalog. A marvelous shipment from an estate back east.
Subtlety.
Uh-huh. She says she'll get right on it. He thanks her and leaves, and we get a lovely view of his outfit. Mm-hmm. Which is when I could tell that the black pants and the black jacket
did not match.
Yeah, they were both black, but the jacket was textured, and so it was a little whatever. So, exactly.
So yes, we see his jacket.
Yes.
So we see it doesn't match.
Right.
And then Prue decides to start cataloging the stuff. Guess what she starts with?
Yeah. He says thanks and leaves, and she walks over to the desk and immediately picks up the locket, opens it, and it gives off a puff of smoke and a spark. The door slams shut because, of course, Rex didn't close it when he left, and Matthew comes screaming out of the locket.
Anti-Jumanjiing.
Yes. Un-Jumanjiing?
Jumoffinging?
No, I refuse. No. Nope. Anyway, so we now get a better view of his outfit. The shirt is like a weird shade of beige.
Yeah, like dirty beige.
Yeah. His vest is like a brownish shade of red and is way longer than I thought.
Mm-hmm. And he's got a lovely, like, 3-button do-up on the top of that collar.
Yeah.
It's very pirate shirty.
A little bit. And the pants are dark, but not black.
And he's got high boots.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that they've been smoking. Kat, for the viewers at home, has hung her head. Like, legit, hung her head.
In
and
shame.
Shaking back and forth.
Hanging my head in shame is what that was. No. Horrible. Anyway, so he's excited to be out of the locket and asks, what time is this, as opposed to what year is this?
Well,
it was an interesting
there was
turn
a
of
comment
phrase.
before he said something about, like,
He says
it's a new world.
He says the world has changed.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. But, like, it's the fact that he says, what time is this, as opposed to what year is this. It was just an interesting phrasing choice.
Mm-hmm. And Prue has no shits to give.
Yeah,
She's
she
like,
goes,
what the fuck?
"Excuse me?
Seriously? What's going on?
But yeah, he asks where he is, she asks who he is, and he says that he's Matthew Tate, and that because he was freed from the locket by her, that he knows that she is a descendant of Melinda Warren.
As he's, like, reaching out creepily to her because he's been approaching her this entire time.
Yeah.
Naturally, Prue's a little freaked.
Uh-huh, and she
uses her powers to fling him against the door.
Yep.
Where he slides down and looks like he has an O face.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then thanks her because she doesn't yet know that using her powers on him
means now he
gets
can use them. Yeah. So he thanks her because now he can use her power. And he does so by squinting at her bright yellow chair and flinging it against the wall.
Yeah.
He then disappears and then reappears behind her as she runs into the middle of the room.
With some sound effect that's...
Well, yeah.
I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a... chunk.
Yeah, it was like a clicking sound.
It wasn't clicking.
I said Leica.
It wasn't really all that like clicking. Do we need to start another poll?
No.
Are we going to start a poll for every fucking argument that we have on this goddamn show?
Not every single one, but, only the ones where I know that I'm right. So he disappears, then reappears behind her as she runs into the middle of the room.
Like, behind you, witch.
Yeah. She wants to know how he did that, and he says that he can share her power, but she can't share his. Now,
way to have a double standard, bro.
Hey, Exactly. So she asks what he wants, and he says that he wants all 3 of Melinda's powers back. And then he grabs her and tells her to defend herself by stopping time, but, she can't.
It looks like the direction was to pretend to try and, like, get her shoulder out of the socket. And then they're like, that's too intense. Lower it down. And it ends up looking like, not just creepy, but, like, creepy romantic.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
Yeah.
It was a little weird.
It was funky.
Yep.
Especially since she's wearing a pretty low-cut top that doesn't quite come into frame at the bottom.
Yes, and continuity error between shots where you can see that the shirt underneath is spaghetti strapped in one shot, and then the shirt is covered back over by the sweater in the next. Yeah.
Prue loves her some spaghetti straps.
Indeed. Hi, Blue.
And Phoebe loves her some vermicelli straps.
Yes. As we found last week. Yes. Shush. But yeah, so when she says that she can't stop time, he realizes that she's not the only one with powers. And he then disappears from behind her and reappears in front of the desk. And seeing her name on the placard on the desk, now knows that the family name has been changed to Halliwell. Mm-hmm. So then Rex calls through the door, asking if Prue is okay. He doesn't try to open the door or anything. He just calls through.
Who knows whether or not the door was actually magically blocked or not.
Yeah, I don't think so. Right, Blue? Exactly. So then Matthew glances toward the window, and we see that Prue has a lovely office view of the Triangle Building.
Yep.
Yeah, it's quite nice. He then uses Prue's power to break the glass in the window.
Not just break it. he blows it the fuck out.
Yeah, he, like, shatters it into a million pieces, leaving not a single piece behind, which will come back later. Just wait.
Oh, not even that much later.
Mm-hmm. Just after the credits. So he then jumps out the window and floats down to the ground, landing effortlessly on his feet in front of a man reading a paper.
Mm-hmm. And we'll notice that none of the glass follows him.
Yeah, I wrote that too. It didn't disintegrate. It would have fallen to the ground.
But there was no glass when you get to the ground.
To the ground at all.
Because there was no indication that anything was wrong to the people at this little cafe at the bottom of Buckland's until he appears.
Yeah.
He just pops down on both feet, saunters off. But not before grabbing a breadstick off of someone's table and chomping into it. Like, actually chomping.
Yeah, it was very crunchy. Now, what I want to know, like, there's apparently a cafe all of a sudden down there.
There has to be a reason for people to see him.
Yeah.
There has to be a reason for Andy to get involved.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But, like, everyone at the cafe seems annoyed by him, but nobody's actually trying to stop him at all. Exactly. Oh, thanks.
Well, you know, I mean, what would you do if you saw a guy just drop out of the sky? You'd stop for a minute, being
I would, like, freak out a little. I wouldn't just be annoyed and be like, what was that? Like, I would have probably either properly freaked out, or, you know, if I was with someone being like, go call the cops, go call, you know, somebody, do something. Like, not just, I don't know. So, yeah. But we get a final shot of Prue standing next to the blown out window. Why is there no wind? You'd think if she's that high up, there would be wind. But nope. Her shirt isn't blowing, her hair isn't blowing. Not a single bit of wind to be found.
Well, she's not in Chicago.
Doesn't matter. She's in San Francisco by the fucking water. You'd think that there'd be wind. Just saying.
Nah.
Anyway, so then we get the opening credits. And then, after the opening credits, we have a bridge shot and that wobbly helicopter shot.
Mm-hmm.
Scenic shot.
And whatever song Netflix got to replace the original song was possibly the most incongruous thing. It didn't fit the mood at all.
Yeah, I wrote down that the song on the DVD was In the Air Tonight as performed by Holly McNarland.
What, like Phil Collins in the air tonight? Oh my god!
Yep. Thank you to IMDb for that information.
Because I don't know what the fuck it was. It wasn't that, and it didn't work. Oh. And I hope whoever chose these fucking songs was fired. What?
Shush. It's We Can Dream Tonight by Ellery.
The fuck?
Alright, so there you go. So,
What?
T.
Good.
Doge.
No, he's no Doge.
No Doge. So yeah, so DVD is In the Air Tonight, the Phil Collins song as performed by Holly McNarland.
Gnarly.
Mm-hmm. And Netflix played We Can Dream Tonight by Ellery.
They probably were just like, hey, let's find another song title that has tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so We Can Dream Tonight by Ellery.
Mm-hmm. But we did get a nice shot of one of the trolleys that had a Canon ad on the side.
Yeah, I saw that. I was very excited.
It's Canon.
It is indeed. It is a brand new streetcar shot, which brings the total, I believe, to 9 for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And then we get Coit Tower with the birds, which is a longer cut of a shot that we have seen before. Then we cut to outside Buckland via an establishing shot of the sign. And we get some random shots of the crowd from the cafe with police tape and cop cars, and we can tell by the green umbrella that this is where Matthew jumped out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Because earlier we had the establishing overhead shots where we had 2 green umbrellas and 3 white ones.
Yes,
and
as Matthew
random
gently
tables.
wafted to the floor.
Yeah.
It's apparently a cafe.
Yeah, apparently. And Andy and Daryl are questioning the man who was reading the paper.
Which for some reason in Netflix is like the loading screen. That scene.
Yeah.
That's a loading screen for the entire episode.
Yeah, I don't know. But I want to know, why is it Andy and Daryl? I mean, aren't they robbery homicide?
Yeah.
Haven't we established that they are robbery homicide?
No. In this giant city of several million people, there's only 1 police precinct and 2 cops who are ever called to anything ever.
Yeah. Anyway, so, outfits. We have Daryl in a dark suit, blue shirt and patterned tie, and Andy in a black suit, white shirt, non-patterned red tie.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. So the man is like, I was just sitting there reading sports, having a cup of joe, and bam, guy comes flying out of nowhere, you know?
He talks like it's the most exciting thing he's ever seen.
Yeah.
Like he saw Shaquille O'Neal at a car dealership that he owns.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, a delightful scene from Fresh Off the Boat.
I have not seen that show.
Oh. I don't actually watch the show, but there's one scene where they're trying to buy a car and trying to, you know, bump down the price as much as they can so that they use all the tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they argue with the guy, be like, I want to see your manager. Then they get the manager, and they give her the silent treatment. And then her manager gets them pretending to argue in Chinese, where they're saying things like, the weather is very pleasant today. Yes, it is. You don't even need a jacket. You've probably seen that gift set.
I probably have, yeah.
And then they get what is supposed to be his manager, and it's really one of the floor guys wearing a mustache.
Uh-huh.
Then they get what they think is the final manager, who bumps down the price from, like, $28,000 to $19,000. And they're about to sign the document when they notice sweat from his brow drops onto the papers. They go, why are you sweating? Air conditioning's broken. Shot of air conditioner, clearly working. Shot of door with peeling paint on the top frame. Just in the middle. Where's that door go? Supply closet. Supply closet in the top manager's room. And they look at each other and go, together, we want to see your manager. And he starts to argue, but then the phone rings. He picks it up and goes, yes, sir. Yes? Okay. Puts it down. It's like, my manager would like to see you. Door opens mysteriously. They walk in. It's Shaquille O'Neal.
That's funny.
And after only slightly more arguing, they get it down to 18,250 with some fuzzy dice.
Uh-huh.
It's a beautiful scene.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I will have to add that to my Netflix queue at some point. Anyway, the man's all like, he had weird clothes and bad manners and nearly fell right on top of me. And Daryl's like, when you say fell...
Because Daryl's the straight man.
Yeah. And he's like, well, you know, like fell, like from way up there, I guess. Which we get an insert shot of the window, which now has broken glass all up in it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was completely devoid of glass when it was broken earlier.
Yep.
Uh-huh. And then we get a cute little moment where Daryl says that's a 10-story drop.
And
Andy just
12.
goes, 12. Yeah. Because apparently...
This bit was like a rehashing from the pilot, except without the unnecessary vocab lesson.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because Andy had, like, the same affect. Like, I know what's up.
Yeah.
You don't, but I do.
Yeah.
And Daryl's just like, when you gonna fill me in, dude? Like, fucking seriously?
Yep. But yeah, so Daryl's asking the guy, you know, like, he got away, like, he walked away without a scratch, that kind of thing. And Andy's like, you got a better explanation? Which made me laugh, because it's like, Andy, you're a cop. Andy, stop it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It was very funny.
Yeah.
So Daryl pulls him away, and it's like, I love this line. He goes, pull out your secret ghost hunter decoder ring and let's hear it. Which was funny. And he's like, you know, I don't know. I just know that whatever happened started up there in that office. And
he's like, let's find out what office is it. And because Andy is a stalker, he's like, I know whose office it is. It's Prue's.
Yeah.
Because, okay, like, I can't even fucking do this with large apartment buildings. Like, it takes a small apartment building for me to be able to pick out whose goddamn window it is.
Yep.
And he can do it with what is presumably a very, very tall building. 12 stories at least. And
well, more than, because, you know.
I know, that's why I say at least, because, I mean, there might have been only one floor more. There might have been 12.
Well, yeah. There's at least 2 more, because if you see the distant shot, there's at least 2 more floors over those above.
I don't remember ever seeing a distant shot.
Yeah, when they showed up the fact that there's no glass in the fucking window.
Oh, that was the angle shot, not the distant shot. Distant shot would be from far away, not from below.
Whatever.
I can get pedantic too, Kat.
Yeah. Anyway, so then we cut to the manor, and we get a lovely shot of Leo under the sink, fixing it, wearing jeans and his black belt, with like this grayish long sleeve top with the arms rolled up, and he's got like a little white t-shirt underneath it. Phoebe is sitting at the table reading a paper, and Piper is kind of pacing the room, I guess. She was like walking around. She's wearing a red top with what looks to be like a raised detail down the middle. It was a little weird looking. And a matching sweater over top that's only buttoned at the very top button.
Yes.
And white pants.
contrast, clearly.
Yeah.
But no, I did notice the sweater being buttoned where it was buttoned, because then it made this, like, kind of little, like, clavicle window.
Yeah.
Not clavicle.
Trust
Décolletage.
Décolletage. Yes. And Phoebe is in, like, a blue V-neck top and dark blue pinstripe pants, which I thought were black at first, but they turned out to be dark blue.
And I really like her hair in this episode.
Yeah.
It's starting to get toward more of its longer...
Yeah, it's starting to grow out nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Piper is talking about adding crab to the menu at the restaurant and everybody loving it. So she wants to know if Leo likes crab. And he says that, you know what he'd love? The ratchet extension from the toolbox, and asks her to hand it to him. And we get the cutest sister moment. She looks in the toolbox.
Looks in. She's clearly completely unsure of which one is the ratchet extension, because there are clearly all these ratchet attachments there, and I understand her frustration.
Yes.
Because I do not know tools very well.
Yes.
She knows them less than I do. And then you just see Phoebe's hand sneak on in, pick it up, and hand it to Piper. She's like, all like, I knew that.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. And then there's a great moment where they just almost whisper and gesticulate
it's like,
at each other.
It's like bicker whispering. And it's
oh my
adorable.
God, it's great. Because then Phoebe's like motioning at Leo, like, clearly get on that.
Yes, yes. And she, yeah.
And then Piper tries to lead them away. And she's like, I'll be right back, Leo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's fake cheerful.
Yeah, it was great. And then they get ushered out into the dining room, and Piper's telling Phoebe to stop it, and yeah. And he goes, yeah, you stop it. Stop hitting around and ask him out. Give him some of your crab. And Piper goes, don't be disgusting.
Now, okay, I think the implication you're supposed to draw from this is not Piper has crabs, merely crab is a type of fish, and she should give him her fish taco.
Yes, that is...
Well, crab is not a type of fish. It's a crustacean and an arachnid, so...
It's a sea-dwelling something, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
A water-dwelling something. But yeah. So, we get Phoebe telling her to not be so shy, and Piper's worried that he'll say no because she's never asked a guy out on a real date before. And we get yet another cute sister moment, where Phoebe doesn't understand. She goes, am I the only person in this family who's inherited a take-a-chance gene? And Piper says... Probably, because if I remember my biology correctly, it's attached to the can't mind my own business gene.
And Phoebe goes, ooh.
Yeah,
and Piper
cute.
goes back into the kitchen.
Yeah, well, she pushes her. Phoebe pushes her back into the kitchen, which was just very funny.
Mm-hmm.
But that entire scene, like, sounded ADR to me. It sounded a little ADR to me.
That one I did not know as being ADR.
Like, not, like, a lot ADR, but, like, it just... I don't know, it sounded a little more distant than...
Like they probably had to do some noise canceling?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. But so, they go back into the kitchen, and Leo comes out from under the sink holding a wrench. Which was just, I don't know why, but it just struck me as funny. And he says that part of the pipe is stuck, but that he's almost finished. Piper offers him some tea, which he accepts, and then goes back to work under the sink. Perfectly fine, right? Mm-hmm. Phoebe walks in, overhearing a bit of the conversation.
Tries to be cute and go, what sounds good?
Yeah. And, you know, tries to get the scoop of what's going on, blah, blah,
Hops
blah.
on the counter.
Yeah. Piper puts the tea on the counter and goes to open the cabinet to get a glass. And we see that the pitcher is nearly full of liquid, has what looks to be like a couple of orange slices floating toward the top, and a bunch of ice cubes sunk at the bottom. Gotta love that fake ice.
Yep.
Oh, fake ice.
But granted... Not like it matters, because guess what Phoebe does? She knocks it off the fucking counter.
Yep, she hops up on the counter and knocks the tea
She was
in the
already
process.
on the counter.
Well, no,
sorry.
As she hopped up on the counter, she whacked into it and knocked it down.
So naturally, Piper freezes it, and they check.
We get a quick continuity error.
Mm-hmm.
As we cut from one shot to the other, Phoebe was going to push her hair out of her face in one shot, and as soon as it gets to the next shot, like split second later, her hands are firmly on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, those continuity errors, man, they drive me nuts.
We get a shot of Leo, clearly frozen.
Yes. Clearly holding steady.
And tools.
Very nicely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Phoebe decides she's going to crack wise about how this is a perfect position and Piper should just hop on him.
Yes.
Phoebes,
have your way with him. Yeah.
No. Phoebes.
It was very funny. But yeah, so Piper gets a bucket and is now standing over Leo,
straddling
holding
him.
the bucket under the tea.
And Phoebe decides to call it a Kodak moment.
Yeah.
And make camera face.
Click, 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 pretends to hold the phone. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, that one was cute.
Yeah. But we get lovely CGI tea in the air. Mm-hmm. And just like the cereal in the last episode, when
falls
the tea
into the
unfreezes,
bucket.
it falls perfectly into the bucket.
No splashing.
No splashing at all. Nothing falling anywhere.
No indication for Leo that anything is awry.
Yeah, which is kind of bullshit, because even though he's hitting the pipe with a wrench, he doesn't notice Piper standing over him or the sound of the tea hitting the bucket.
Yeah, it's really funny because, like, the cabinet door is tall enough. He can definitely see out.
Oh, absolutely.
He would have a perfect view of Piper's clothed crotch.
Absolutely.
So he may just be ignoring it for the sake of propriety. That, oh, suddenly there's a crotch and I must not look.
Yes,
Because
could
I
be.
know in whose house I am.
Could be. But yeah, so Prue then walks in and says they're in serious trouble.
And they both
kind of point to Leo. Yeah, it was very funny.
She
And
says hi, and
he
Leo
says hi.
glances across the room at Prue. He's like, hi.
Yeah. His smile, man. I just...
Uh-huh.
You want to bottle it
He's
and sell
adorable.
it. But yeah, so they greet each other, and then Prue tells Piper and Phoebe to go upstairs. And Piper puts the bucket of spilled tea on the counter, and they run out of the room. You do have to wonder why Leo doesn't question any of this. There's no mention of the tea again later. There's no, hey, why was there a bucket full of tea on the counter? Nope, nothing. Nothing at all.
Blue agrees.
Exactly, Blue. Exactly. So then we cut to a large white building, which is apparently Buckland, even though we've never seen this view of it, and it looks more like a luxury condo building than an office building. I wrote in my notes, I'm thinking they just put in the wrong exterior shot and no one questioned it. Because, like, legit.
No, they don't have a continuity master. We've established that.
So true. But yeah, like, it just... Yeah.
No.
I'm like,
Nothing.
okay, fine. So yeah, so we are then in Prue's office, and the police are taking pictures and stuff.
And questioning
Rex
Buckland and Hannah.
Yeah.
And Hannah
Is wearing a burgundy jacket over, like, a black outfit. I don't know if it was a dress or a top, because we never actually see her head to toe, but it was a really cute jacket.
we kind of see her head to toe later, but I don't know if she's changed clothes.
Yeah, that was later. What, Blue? So yeah, so Andy's questioning Rex and Hannah.
And Hannah is acting very strange for Hannah. She's, like, timid.
Yeah.
He's asking her about, what she heard, and she's, it's very hard to describe, and I don't know, and you're just like, oh my god, Hannah, you're good. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
For as poorly as you managed to pull one over on Prue, you are good.
Yeah, well,
And Rex is really not behaving all that much differently from normal. He kind of fills in for Hannah and says it sounded like a struggle or fight.
Yeah. And then Hannah chimes in that they heard a crash, and that's what she assumed must be the window breaking.
Mm-hmm.
And came in to check on Prue, who then ran out of the room.
Mm-hmm.
And Daryl asked what she said, and Hannah's like, she didn't say anything. She just left. And Rex
She looked
said...
really upset.
Yeah, Rex said that she looked quite agitated. Fucking British.
Yeah. Andy and Daryl are showing them that they'll find the guy and something about the window.
Yeah, CSI will be done with the window in a couple of hours. They can have him fixed. And Rex is like, I don't care about the window. I only care about Prue. Really? Alright.
Yeah.
And then Hannah and Rex leave. And,
Well, they turn to each other and they kind of, like, grab each other's hands or something.
Yeah, they kind of embraced a little. It was a little weird, a little awkward looking in the room.
Like they were extremely shaken up about this broken window.
Yeah.
And missing employee.
Yeah, it was very weird. And then they leave. Then we, go back to Daryl and Andy. And Daryl thinks that Andy should ask the captain to assign somebody else. But Andy says that there's no conflict because they aren't dating anymore. So Daryl drops it, but he doesn't seem convinced. Then we cut to Rex's office. And Rex is like, I thought that went exceedingly well, didn't you? Because he's a pretentious British dude. And Hannah's like, we may have proven the legend of the locket true, and that the little witch is charmed, but now we have a 17th century warlock running around. I think he'll stick out. Like, really, Hannah?
All of Hannah's lines are
make
not
me want to
well
smack
written.
her.
None of her lines are well written.
Yeah.
The good things only happen when she does that scoffing noise.
But yeah, but then Rex is like, yeah, but he's got a one-track mind just like us. He shouldn't be difficult to find.
Hannah's being all pouty.
Yeah, but then he says, stop worrying, you'll get wrinkles on your horns. And does this like weird like trace circle on her forehead where like
which she
horns
apparently
should be.
finds super hot.
Yeah. So then we cut back to the attic in the manor. And Piper asked what his name was, and Prue said it was Matthew Tate, and somehow he knows that they're related to Melinda Warren. And Phoebe comes with, the Book of Shadows, Melinda? Our ancestor? And Piper, I love Piper's line of, the one who burned at the stake and started this whole mess. Which, once again, no one actually got burned at the stake in Salem, but we let Hollywood have its anachronisms for the sake of storytelling. Mm-hmm. And then Prue tells them that he came out of the locket, and that his powers are stronger than hers, and describes his blinking in and out and whatever. Mm-hmm. And that he went 12 stories down and landed right on his feet. And Phoebe has my favorite line of the scene. If it looks like a warlock and talks like a warlock.
Yep.
It was funny. It was very funny. But Prue then mentions again that he's powerful and says that he wants all three of their powers. And Phoebe asks to see the locket, so Prue hands it to her and is like, we have to figure out who he is before he finds the two of you. And
At which point, Phoebe gets a vision.
Yeah, she opens the locket and gets a vision of Melinda putting Matthew into the locket. And this is why I don't like calling them premonitions, because now she can see the past as well as the future.
Yes.
So they are visions.
Yes. But yeah, she sees Matthew getting Jumanji'd. Sorry, not Matthew. Not Sweet Calves.
Not Sweet Calves.
I'm going to stick with it as much as I can.
Who did you think was Sweet Calves?
The prison guard, I guess. I thought Matthew was Sweet Calves because I see the Sweet Calves, and I'm like, is that Matthew or is that the prison guard? And it was the prison guard. So Matthew is not Sweet Calves.
He's Socks Dude.
No, he's not. He's not even Socks Dude. He's
Socks
just
and
Boots Dude.
Boots Dude. He's Boots Dude.
Boots. Boots and cats and boots and cats.
Boots.
Oh my god, boots.
Boots. Oh my god, shoes. Let's get some shoes. Okay.
Isn't that like 10 years old?
Yeah, I have no idea. Now I want to look it up. Hold on.
I think it had a birthday recently.
Just because I want to know.
By recently, I mean a couple of months ago.
9 years ago. 9 years ago. I'm not going to play it. No, 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Told you.
Yeah, like 9 or 10 years ago. Okay, not gonna worry about it. Not actually gonna look at it. Anyway, so, where were we? Yeah, okay, so Phoebe tells of her vision, and Prue's like, well, we always knew our powers would grow. And Phoebe says, yeah, but somehow I thought I was gonna get to fly. Which made Prue and Piper smile, and it was very funny. And then we cut to the exterior of what looks like yet another condo or apartment building.
It's the same building they've used at least twice before.
Yeah?
They really like that building. It's their generic stock footage of an apartment building.
Okay.
Or office, or whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that particular shot before, but...
Then we get into the building. We see the door, or a sign for lawyers, Halliwell and something or other.
Halliwell, Rossin, and Haas.
Because there's always got to be three.
Yeah.
Because it's lawyers.
Absolutely.
So, I guess we find out this episode that Halliwell is apparently not an uncommon name in San Francisco.
Yeah, apparently not.
It's fucking everywhere.
Yep. Who knew?
Mm-hmm. Well,
especially since apparently, you know, there's like 3 places in like a 2-block radius. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it's just down the street from where they live.
Yeah.
I mean, never mind the fact that if it's just down the street from where they live, and Matthew has seen Prue's first name, if he's in the white pages, thank you, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, not my mom. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
We see later, he's got a white page of all of the Halliwells. He knows addresses, which is how we found the fucking lawyer.
Yeah.
How did he not go down the street to their house right then?
See, here's the thing, though. If he was looking up, thanks, Mom, if he's looking up in the white pages, because he's got a ripped out page from the white pages, why is he not at their house? Because the white pages, according to my mother, was people, whereas the yellow pages was businesses.
So it would be funny. It would be funny if the page were actually yellow, and he was going to everything in the yellow pages because that was the first pages he checked.
Yeah,
because he walked into a fucking phone. How would he know to do that?
Yeah,
dunno.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many things, man. So many things. But,
I mean, I understand if he was literally just walking around and saw a sign that said Halliwell.
Yeah, maybe. But like, since it's inside a building and not just like randomly on the street, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. But
whatevs. So yeah, so inside Halliwell, Rossin and Haas, which just, you know, you got it. Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated. It seems like an interesting like lawyer place, like an attorney name set. Halliwell, Rossin and Haas. It kind of flows nicely.
Oh yeah, yeah,
it's nice. But yeah, so a man is on the phone.
wait, say the name of the lawyers again.
Halliwell, Rossin and Haas.
Oh my.
Yes, absolutely. So, Amanda's on the phone, talking lawyer stuff, when the door opens and then closes, with nobody there.
Well, okay, he's not just talking about lawyer stuff. he is naturally talking about suing someone.
Well, of course. Like I said,
All of
talking
his
lawyer
lines, except for the one about Robin Hood, are about suing someone.
Yeah.
And granted, he has 3 lines total, so the statistics are really skewed on this one. But it's really funny, because Matthew walks in. It's like, aren't you Halliwell?
Arnold.
Arnold Halliwell. He doesn't do the Halliwell Arnold
Arnold.
Halliwell that
Yeah.
we saw from last episode.
Yeah, no. Thank
Thankfully.
goodness. Yeah.
But then Arnold's like, are you Robin Hood?
Yeah. But, like, okay, so I want to know, because the door opens and closes, there's nobody there, so he seems, confused as
Dramatic
as
effect.
you would. Yeah.
I'm chalking that up to dramatic effect.
But, like, if you can blink, why do you need to open a door?
You don't. That's dramatic effect. He didn't need to close the door to Prue's office. Dramatic effect.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he stole powers from some witch that was literally all about doors.
Maybe.
Opening and closing doors.
that
That's
could
it.
be. That could totally be.
He got a blinker and he got a portico. He made a trip through Neverwhere. He went to London below.
Yes. Anyway, I love my notes. It goes, the man says excuse me to whoever he was talking to and hangs up the phone without saying anything else. No goodbye. No I'll call you back. How rude.
He's a lawyer.
I know, but it just made me laugh.
He is a bit part. He has 3 fucking lines.
Yes.
4, technically, with the excuse you.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me. But they really, really went for the stereotype on this one.
Absolutely. But yeah, so Matthew asks if he's Arnold Halliwell, and he says that he is, and then he makes the joke about Matthew being Robin Hood, which seems to piss Matthew off pretty well.
Because he slams the chair up into the wall.
breaking the glass on the picture behind him.
Mm-hmm. And of course, what's the lawyer's reaction? If you hurt me,
I'll
I'm going to sue you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know.
Well,
But
okay,
then-
it wasn't that line yet, because Matthew starts asking about where his sisters are. He's like, I'm an only child.
Yeah. But, so then, he didn't get the answer he wants, so he breaks the guy's neck and comes up with the line, lawyers have not changed. Now, I don't know
It was a
enough
good
about
callback
history.
line.
It was cute. And then he blinks away and whatever. But, like, what would they have called lawyers back in the 17th century? Like, would they have been called lawyers?
Barristers?
Would they have been called attorneys? Would he actually know what those words are? Because it doesn't say on the sign for the door, it doesn't say lawyers. It says attorneys at law. So it's like, would he know what those are? Like, I don't know enough about history, and I didn't think to ask my mother.
Well, lawyer derives from late 14th century, so
Okay,
Middle English law.
all right, then they might have been called lawyers. That's fine.
The spelling would have been new, because that would have only been 17th century, so newish.
Well, he's from the late 17th, so
Old English had la vita, with vita meaning sage, wise man, advisor, counselor.
fascinating.
Let's look up
Okay,
a
cool.
journey. Let's look up a journey. Early 14th century.
Okay.
To decree, assign, appoint.
Okay,
Attorney.
okay, then I guess he would know. All right, that's fine.
So yes, he would have known what attorney meant. The double T is a mistaken 15th century attempt to restore a non-existent Latin original. Attorney General, first recorded 1530, is in sense of legal officer of the state.
Interesting.
And apparently, since it's from French, there's the odd pluralization, subject first, adjective second.
It would be attorneys general.
Yes.
Not attorney generals.
Like cul-de-sac.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, where's this from? So much a term of contempt in England that it was abolished by the Judicature? I don't know, Act of 1873 and merged with solicitor. And there's a quote here. Johnson observed that he did not care to speak ill of any man behind his back, but he believed the gentleman was an attorney. So yeah, he would have known attorney, and he would have known
Okay.
the context for it. Because
Okay.
the practice of law is extremely old, especially in
Yeah.
England, and even if he was in 17th century America, like, it
Yeah,
would
no,
have
it
been
just-
fairly connected.
Yeah, it just wasn't, like, I just wasn't sure when that term came into being. That's all. Okay, thank you for looking that up.
I love etymology!
Yes. Anyway, so then we cut back to the attic at the manor with a lovely starting shot of the Book of Shadows. And Phoebe is looking at a very large photo album typey thing, and she shares what she's seeing with Prue. And Piper is, like, sitting across from them reading a book. And Phoebe says that she was right about it being Melinda in her vision, and says that she was beautiful. And Prue says that Melinda kind of looks like their mom, which,
And
you know,
we get to see a very lovely little sketch.
yeah,
in
it's
color.
a lovely insert sketch. And I love I love my notes. I go, I really think that they think that anyone looks like their mom at this point, since we haven't seen any photos of mom.
This is true.
It's so true. And the only video we've seen of her, she was played by Alyssa Milano. So, there's that.
Yep.
Yeah. So Piper gets their attention and reads a passage from the book that she was reading. And Phoebe's like, oh, yeah, that must be what I saw. Because, And Prue comes back with a very cute line of, and I let him out early. Great. Like, it was funny. It was very funny. And then Piper says that the legend says that the warlock must never be freed or he'll destroy the Warren line. And she goes, that'd be us.
Yeah.
Which was funny. And then Phoebe comes back with, yeah, well, he'll have to take a number and get in line behind the other warlocks. Yeah.
Because even though it's only the 9th episode, there's a line.
Yeah, well, this is the funny bit, right? So in my notes, I had the line of Prue saying, we've never been up against anyone like him before, to which I wrote, of course not, you've only been witches for 9 episodes.
Which is basically 9 weeks.
Well,
no, it's 9 weeks. Because the structure in which this goes, like...
I don't know, because she didn't have sex with Andy in the first episode, and the next, it was at least a month since, from one episode to the next.
Yeah, but remember in the 6th one, which granted wasn't filmed to be the 6th one, but still, the wedding from hell.
Mm-hmm.
Phoebe references 6 weeks ago, which was apparently when she came back from New York. So that time was 6 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. The timing on all of it's a little wanky. Yeah.
Wonky.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so Phoebe asks what they should do, and Piper suggests hiding, which I thought was funny. And Prue's like, no, we have to find out exactly what we're up against, and we should start with the locket and how it wound up on my desk. And then they cut to downstairs, where Leo is watching TV and holding a plate with 2 sandwiches on it. But again, no mention of the tea!
Yep.
No. The girls walk in, and Leo says that Prue's work is on the news, and we get an insert shot of the most lackluster reporter in history.
The most...
telling what happened that morning.
And the most generic banner.
Yeah, I didn't mind the banner.
I didn't even know what it said, because it was so just completely uninteresting.
Yeah, I didn't even mind that, but she was the most lackluster reporter.
Well, also, like, you're reporting on the fact... Like, what even happened? Like, a window broke and there was a guy. And that's all you can really know because no one saw him fall.
Yeah, I don't know.
For all we know, he basically shot an arrow up at the window and it shattered.
Yeah, who knows?
Because, as apparently the lawyer thinks, he's Robin Hood.
Yeah.
And he's Robin to Hood.
Anyway, so Prue's like, we have to find him before he hurts someone else, especially an innocent, to which he comes with, there's that I word again.
And they're discussing this in full earshot of Leo, who's still watching TV.
Like,
do we not care that he's in the room anymore?
No, not even a little. But they don't mention witches in front of him, so,
Yes, but, I mean, saying we have to stop him
before
he hurts another innocent, like, that's a phrase that would definitely pop out at you.
I know.
As being odd, unusual, and definitely a little bit alarming.
Yep. A little weird, even.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, and then Piper's like, look, Andy's on TV. And we insert a shot of the reporter talking to the guy who was holding the paper. Andy and Daryl are walking past behind them. And then the doorbell rings, and Phoebe's like, he's here too. And so she waves Prue away, which I thought was very funny. And
she's
goes
not
to
in
the
the
door.
direct side of the front door anyway.
No, not even remotely. But then, she goes to the front door, and she opens it to see Andy there and tries to small talk him away, which I thought was kind of funny.
Well, she also shuts the door behind her so that he possibly won't see Prue.
Yeah.
And she's being real casual. And, like, oh, hey, Andy, like, what's going on? And Andy asks about Prue, and she's like, oh, I thought you two broke up.
How out of the loop am I? Yeah. And then he's like...
she's actually pretty good at lying to him. She's not good at lying to her sisters.
Yeah, I wouldn't say she's all that great at lying to him, but all right.
It's a pretty good bluff, though.
It's a good bluff, not a good lie.
This is true.
Yeah. So she says, he says, no, it's police business, and she goes, oh, well, she's not here, she's at work. And he goes, no, she's not. Which, like, why would you say she's at work? Like, I don't...
Because that's where she thinks she's supposed to be.
know.
And she knows that she's supposed to be at work, so say she's at work.
I guess so.
It makes sense.
Yeah, because then she
seems
goes,
completely clueless.
I don't know. Yeah, all right, fine, I'll give that. But yeah, so she tries to leave and is like, well, I don't know, I'll tell you to stop by. He grabs her arm, and she does a really good job of acting like it hurts. Like,
yeah.
It was, the face she made was just like, that really hurts.
Like, ow, dude.
Yeah, like, she did a really good job. But yeah, so he's basically like, you know, weird shit happened, rah, 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 you know, whatever.
Weird shit happened, rah, rah, rah. I need to talk to Prue. I know she's fucking inside. Make her talk to me.
Yeah. Where's your sister?
Phoebe just drops all pretense and says,
Where's your warrant? Yeah.
Very, very lightly, very calmly.
Mm-hmm.
Very, ha, I've got you.
Yep.
I enjoyed it.
And then she goes back inside and Andy leaves. And we cut back into the living room, where Prue is pacing, and Piper and Phoebe are now sitting on the couch.
She's pacing in full view of the living room windows, where Andy could just happen to glance inside.
Yeah, well, you know. And then, so apparently now Leo is out of earshot in the next room, because they aren't talking very quietly, when Prue's like,
They never talk quietly.
Great, so now I'm being hunted by a warlock and the San Francisco PD. You know.
She's not being hunted by the PD, just the AD. The ANDY.
The inspector. But yeah, Piper's like, well, maybe Andy can help, and she's like, yeah, you know, Andy, I hate to bother you, but this is the 17th century warlock that's trying to kill me and my sisters. Like, you know.
Yeah. She knows it's a little far-fetched, and given what happened last episode, it's really understandable that she would want to seriously avoid him.
Yeah, absolutely. They all kind of realized that was a bad idea is to involve Andy. And Phoebe's like, well, you know, we need someone who's done this before. Someone like Melinda Warren. And I love Prue's line. What are we supposed to do? Reach back in time, grab her, and tell her we need her help? And Phoebe's like,
exactly.
Yes, absolutely. It's like,
I know exactly how to do this, because of all that time I spent reading the book.
Yeah, as long as you don't mind losing a little blood. Which I'm like, oh god, alright, fine.
Yeah, too bad it's not that time of the month. Because you know they're all synced up.
Oy vey. But yeah, so then
Would period blood work? We're getting back to period blood. Oh dear.
So then we get back into the attic, because, you know, can't stay in one place too long. And we have an overhead shot of the table where the girls are sitting. And they've placed candles.
Yeah, and they've ADR'd in their lines.
Yeah.
Pretty badly, too.
Well, you know. But so there's candles and a dagger and some other shit on the table. And Piper wonders if she's the only one having second thoughts, to which Phoebe replies that she is. And Prue's just like, well, we don't have any other options. But Piper is apparently concerned about them raising the dead, like, possibly thinking she might come back as a zombie or something, which is kind of funny. But Phoebe quiets those fears by saying that she read the Book of Shadows very carefully, and she'll come back as a real live person and will even have her powers.
Mm-hmm.
And then Phoebe picks up the knife, and Piper's like, why are you picking up the knife? Which I thought was very funny. And then we get a cute moment where Phoebe says that the spell works by blood calling blood, so it shouldn't hurt much. She stabs her finger and realizes just how wrong she was.
Oh,
I lied! It was very funny.
Yes.
It was super funny.
Granted, like, the anticipation makes it hurt more, but still.
Yeah, and you're also stabbing your finger with a knife. You didn't, like, get a pin. Like, I would have gotten a pin if you just need a little bit of blood. Why are you stabbing yourself with a knife? But whatever. So, Piper's freaking...
Hang on. It's not a knife. It's an athame.
Well...
Which is a ceremonial dagger used in witchcraft.
Yes. Thank you, Andrew Shadow.
Yes.
Episode 1.
You're welcome.
Uh-huh. But yeah, so Piper's freaking out a little, and Phoebe's trying to reassure her by saying it'll be just like the summer by the lake when they made a blood oath to be friends forever and not just sisters.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
Well, I think this will come
it's
back.
Just such a stupid line.
It was kind of a
I know
stupid
it comes
thing, but...
back eventually, but still, the line itself is so goddamn stupid. Also, did they decide to bring it back? It could have been a coincidence.
Maybe.
That the lake comes back.
Maybe.
It could have been. And they just didn't remember this one throwaway line about friendship by way of bloodletting.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you ever do that as a kid?
No, fuck no.
Like, I never did that as a kid, but then again, I didn't do, like, camp or anything,
I saw that video that movie very early on. It was like a Lifetime movie about the little kid that gets AIDS because of his blood transfusion and is completely ostracized. I wanted to touch no one's blood.
Yeah.
I would gladly watch heart surgeries to freak out my babysitter. And also because they were fascinating, but mostly to freak out my babysitter so I could go sneak more ice cream.
All right.
Or cookies or something.
All right.
Or possibly the dried chow mein noodles that I called cat food.
You had a very strange childhood.
I had a very strange adulthood, too.
You still do.
I know.
We both do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Example in point.
Uh-huh.
Or case in point.
Anyway, so Piper remembers that her finger got infected and she couldn't go in the water for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And Prue takes the knife off of Phoebe and stabs her finger and says, yeah, but the oath worked. And she holds the knife out for Piper, who will not take it.
She's clearly, like, sitting on her hands, too.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. And Prue asks how she's going to cut herself, and Piper's like, I'm not going to. I can't stand the sight of blood.
Which is extra funny because she's a chef.
Yeah.
Blood would not be a problem to happen. Like, the pain of, like, her fingers would be so calloused and, like, scarred from chef work, even as little as she's done by this point in her life, I imagine, that it shouldn't be a problem. Well, granted, the sight of blood would be a problem for, like, the food prep, because you'd have to go get, like, a glove and a Band-Aid and shit, but,
yeah.
You know.
Well, and there are some people who don't have a problem with other people's blood, but they have a problem with the sight of their own blood, so I kind of get that.
It just really tickles me whenever a woman says she has a problem with the sight of blood.
Yes.
I'm like, what do you do once a month?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally get that.
Granted, that's an assumption that they're a woman with a uterus that functions on a 28-day cycle, but still.
Yep, because I am not one of those women. I think we've talked about this before.
I don't know if I am.
My cycle is most definitely fucked up, so...
Well, you know. I was telling my chiropractor that it's impossible for me to form habits or track anything, including my period. Like, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I seriously have, like, old calendars where I did it for 2 months and then completely forgot the next one. And the thing is, it's not a one-day thing that's one and done and you forget about it, like, the next day. Like, I would know for weeks, like 2 weeks after when my period was. But the second I am asked is always after the period where I would remember my period.
Yeah.
I'd be like, shit, when was that? At least 3 weeks ago, so I'll just track back 3 weeks ago and assume it was then.
Yeah.
I never know when it's coming. I barely know when it's just arrived. Except as an, oh, yeah, that makes sense kind of moment.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. That's my life.
Hey, you know, that is not my life. My body is all sorts of fucked up, so, you know. But that's a story for another day. That's a tangent that we need not go on today.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we're talking about periods again.
Again, yeah. So.
We talk about them periodically.
Oh. Oh. Jeez. All right.
Which is apparently another irregular period.
Bad. So bad. Anyway.
Just like menstrual cramps.
Yes. Anyway. So then we get a cute sister moment where we get the Prue and Phoebe back and forth. Where Prue's like, evil beings have blown up in our attic. And Phoebe's like, disintegrated to dust right before our very eyes. And Prue's like, and you're afraid of a little drop of blood?
Reality check, Pipes.
Yeah. Which Piper's like, okay, just cut my finger. And she holds out her hand. And then Prue tells Phoebe to do it and hands her the knife, which I thought was very funny. I was like, I don't want to do it, you do it, kind of thing.
And Phoebe gets this slightly gleeful look on her face and just kind of
stabs her. Yeah.
It wasn't really a stab. It was like a sharp tap. It was
Yeah.
a little jab, not a stab.
Well,
just kind of like
was a
pokes her.
poke, yeah.
Pokes her with the knife.
Yeah.
And Piper, like, yelps and pulls her finger back and stares at it.
Yes.
Like, if you don't like the sight of blood,
why are you staring at it? Yeah.
You're looking at your finger, sweetie.
Yep. But yeah, so then they squeeze their fingers to drip blood into the locket. And that was a shit ton of blood.
Yep.
Like, that was an awful lot of blood.
Well, granted, like, I have seen that much blood come out of my finger when I have a mishap at work, and I don't have large mishaps.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think my largest one was involving the belt sander. It basically peeled off, like, half of my thumbnail. But I got it out before it bled, so it was fine.
Ow. Just the thought of that is painful.
It's a large belt sander.
Ow.
80 grit.
Oh. Ow. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but then, so Phoebe then closes the locket, and, like, does this adorable sticking out of her tongue thing. Super cute. and places it into the smoke-filled bowl at the center of the table.
Because, hey, we had some extra dry ice, guys.
Uh-huh. And then she starts the enchantment, and the smoke overflows the bowl and takes over the table. And they call out, "Melinda Warren, blood of our blood." And this is my favorite line. Our great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother.
Okay, so 6 greats.
Yep.
That's 8 generations previous. I did the math.
Yes?
I definitely did the math. It's about 306 years.
Uh-huh.
I did 300, give it the benefit of the doubt. 8 generations. That's a generation gap of 37 and a half years. No fucking way.
Unless...
No fucking way.
What did you do for how old people were, though?
No, this is the age they were when they had their child. That's the generation gap. That's
Right.
how old they would have been. That is averaging out. No fucking way. No fucking way. I'm telling you, this is not an average age that would go back all the way to the 16th century, because no one would have started having children at that age. They might have had children at that age, but that would have been the start. Not back then.
Right, but that's not necessarily saying that...
And
that
that's
it
not
is
even
the start.
Well,
you're assuming...
No. This is the average age of when they would have started to have children.
No, you're assuming...
This is the minimum. This is the... Well,
You're-
it's the average, but yeah.
It's the average. So you're assuming that whoever is the first child is the line that's going down.
It's entirely possible.
But it's not necessarily the truth.
It still doesn't make as much sense. This is a very large generation gap
Just saying.
for averaging out. Like, even if it starts off like, oh, well, I had this one at 20, and then, well, how are you going to account for the difference then in the average? How are you going to make it even out? For 8 generations, you don't have a lot of wiggle room. Which means if someone had one at 20, that means someone else had to go further another 17 and a half years, which would make it over 50, which, granted, is extremely unlikely, technically possible, but not very.
I don't know. I should have asked my mother. She's
Like,
a genealogy person.
modern medicine makes it more possible.
Yeah.
So you could have older and older going longer, but still, 8 generations, there's not a lot of wiggle room. So, I'm calling bullshit.
What was your average age?
37 and a half.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said,
No.
I don't know. I don't know. So how did you do your math?
300 divided by 8. 300 years, 8 generations.
Trying to
First,
math.
I started with... Well, okay, so we could start with 1692. I started with 1690 first, and then with just 300 years. So, 306 divided by 8. That's 38.25. As an average age, that is way too high. Now, we can do this long form by adding each individual age that they would have been. That's possible. Given that birth control would have not been terribly effective, or even really allowed, the older we go, assume younger starting generations. Because it's weird that my grandparents were in World War II. It's not as weird for you, because you're older. But it is weird for me. My parents were very old when they started having children.
Yeah.
So assuming Melinda had her daughter, who we know is her only child,
Yeah.
at approximately 20, then say she has a child at, let's give it 25. And then the next one has a child at, okay, so we're at number 3. Number 3 has a child at, let's call it 26. Because I want to give it the benefit of the doubt here. Then perhaps number 4 has it at 30. Then number 5 has it, we still haven't even gone above, or even to 37. And we're at number 5. Like, this is theoretical, but I'm at 101 with 4 generations.
Mm-hmm.
That's half.
Yes.
And we know how old the Halliwells are. They're under 30.
Yes.
So 101 is definitely less than half of 270.
True.
So, to end this extremely long tangent that we really ought to get off of so we can go on with the rest of the episode, I'm still calling bullshit.
I completely agree with your bullshit.
Really? Because you sounded pretty judgmental.
No. I'm just saying that we don't know average ages, we don't know whatever. But yeah, no, I completely agree that only 6 greats is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think
There need to be at least another 3, I think.
At least. Like, but I just think it's a little bit bullshit that they have to count out the greats anyway.
I think they did it so it sounded good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I know. I just, Hollywood, man.
Mm-hmm.
Anachronisms all over the place. Anyway, but yeah, so they summon Melinda, and we get Stardust floating through the air, and she
Pretty
appears.
swirly bits.
Yeah, and they look very happy that it worked. And apparently Melinda is very happy because, Oh, blessed be. Because,
Yeah.
it's apparently a Wicca greeting thing. Sure. But we get a better view of her outfit now in the lovely modern lighting. So she has a reddish-orange skirt, an off-white top, a greenish corset tied together with a reddish ribbon, and a white apron over the front of the skirt.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut to commercial. And then, when we come back from commercial, it's the next morning at the manor. So I want to know, what happened? Like, did they just say, hi, great-grandma, like, time to sleep, see you in the morning? Because, like, what? I
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a little weird that all of a sudden now it's the next day. We get no exposition, no nothing about what happened, what they talked about all night long, like nothing. Absolutely nothing. But whatevs. So now we're in Phoebe's room, and there's many clothes on the bed, because she's looked at a bunch of stuff to give to Melinda, because she can't keep wearing her Renfur outfit, know. And Melinda seems to be wearing like a black slip.
Yeah, because wearing slips was more common in the 90s.
Yeah, And Phoebe is now wearing a red sweater with, like, scalloped edges over a black top and dark blue pants.
Yeah, it's super cute.
It was adorable. And I love this bit. So she unzips the dress, and Melinda's like, no,
don't rip it.
So it fits me. And Phoebe explains that it's a zipper and zips it up and, like, open and shut to show her how it works. She goes, oh, a wise witch made this. Which I just thought was great.
Yes, the entire clothing scene I thought was just uber cute.
Yes, this is one of my absolute favorite scenes
Bar none.
in the episode, just because it was just so super cute. And so Melinda takes the dress from Phoebe and starts playing with the zipper. And she says, yes, and wise witches in this century keep a low profile, so put this dress on, you'll blend in. And the dress is like a blue plaid. It looks really cute.
Adorable.
Yeah. And again, this entire scene was just super cute. So she puts the dress on, and she goes, she says that it's odd to be breathing and feeling things again, which was...
And what sheep has wool so soft?
Yeah, she's like feeling the dress up and down. And
Phoebe says,
realized, a synthetic one. And
to which Melinda is delighted.
Yeah, just that, oh, like, I love her
She
little
does that
O's.
a lot
It's so
through the
cute.
episode. It's great.
It's so cute. But, see, again, would she have known what that word meant?
Dunno.
Like, I don't know when the word synthetic came into being. Get to look it up now. Yes.
It's possible. It's not likely, but it's possible.
Okay.
1690s.
Alright, well then it might have been like a brand new word.
As a term in logic, deductive from French synthétique, directly from modern Latin. So, different meaning, different connotation, but possible she would have known the word. Especially if she knows Shakespeare, which we know she does.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that, because I have a thing to say about that. But yeah, so as Phoebe zips her into the dress, she asks how long it took her to make it, and she goes, oh no, I bought it. And so that makes Melinda think she must be rich, which I think was cute, because then Prue and Piper walk in, and Prue's like, no, she's got credit cards. But again, she would have no idea what credit cards are.
She would know what credit is. She would know what cards are, possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah, they would have had, like, playing cards. But she would have no understanding of what it meant to have a credit card.
Yeah.
Because she probably wouldn't have gambled.
But before she can ask, Piper changes the subject and says she looks great. So, there's that. But, so Prue comes in, she's now wearing black slacks, a black top, and a gray sweater with, like, weird black, like, flower detail thing. It was a weird sweater.
Yeah. I kind of liked it.
It wasn't horrible, but it was weird looking. And Piper is wearing dark jeans, a gray shirt with white trim, and a blue fuzzy long-sleeved hoodie sweater.
It's great.
It was amazing.
I love all of the fuzzy things they wear.
Yes.
And we get a lot in this episode.
And then, so Melinda thanks her, because Piper says she looks great. Melinda thanks her and wonders how they keep their legs warm, which gets a cute line from Prue in, we drink coffee, which was funny.
And of course, at this point, Leo walks past the door.
Yeah, he approaches the doorway, and his outfit, he's got jeans, his black belt, a brownish tan shirt with the sleeves pushed up, and no undershirt, which I think is a first for him.
Possibly.
Yeah. And he's carrying his tool belt on his shoulder.
Yeah.
For some reason.
He's always carrying something on his shoulder. Tool belt, later,
extension
electrical cord.
Yeah. But he apologizes because he let himself in, and apparently it didn't occur to him that they would have company.
Well, also, I think he was supposed to be working on the plumbing upstairs, which is why he's upstairs.
Yeah, well...
Because then he, like, later he walks into the room, like, there's the bathroom in there that he needs to go fix.
But, no, they're in Phoebe's room.
Yeah.
Phoebe doesn't have a bathroom.
I know. That's weird.
Yeah, so I actually made note of that, of why is he going into Phoebe's room? Like, whatever, but we'll get there in a second.
Mayhaps the radiators?
Yeah, I don't know. But...
But, he's a handyman.
Yes. But, yeah, so it didn't occur to him that they'd have company. Piper says it's okay, and then falters on how to introduce Melinda. But Phoebe has it covered and says, this is our cousin, And we get a cute, funny moment where Leo's like, nice to meet you. And Piper's like, he's fixing our plumbing. And Melinda's just like, what's that? Because that is a definite thing that they wouldn't have had. Would have been indoor plumbing.
No, they wouldn't have. And any pipes they would have had would probably have been made of wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
they wouldn't have even had clay pipes yet.
Yeah, New York switched a lot of wooden pipes over to, like, iron or something in late 1790s, early 1800s, which is when Chase Morgan Bank was founded.
Interesting.
Because that's connected. Because Aaron Burr used a legal loophole to get the water company set up as its own kind of bank.
Yep. Gotta love it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so Prue changes the subject, and then we get the lovely Shakespeare quote.
Well, she says he's a handyman, and goes, to work with one's hands is
a great gift, yes. And he comes back with, well, I am a true laborer. I earn that I eat, get that I wear. And she comes back with, oh, no man hate, envy no man's happiness. And then they both say, Shakespeare, which is cute. And thanks to IMDb, it is a line from Corin in Act 3, Scene 2 of the play As You Like It, by Shakespeare. It's not a Shakespeare that I have seen. Had it been Hamlet, I would have probably recognized it.
Everyone knows Hamlet.
Yes.
Well, it's the obscure ones.
Exactly.
Like, this almost could just not be a Shakespeare quote. It just sounds like a Shakespeare quote. So it makes me happy that they actually went through and were like, hey, what can we use as a Shakespeare quote for this episode? And someone, certainly not the continuity master, went through and found a surprisingly relevant line.
Yes, unfortunately, since Shakespeare's work wasn't really known outside of Europe until the 18th century, Melinda shouldn't have known it.
Nope.
Just saying.
Nah.
Just saying. So, yeah, whatever. So, she giggles because they both know Shakespeare, and we get a funny line from Prue of, wasn't that fun? Okay, let's go now. Which was great. So then they walk out of the room and Leo walks in, and this is when I wrote in my notes of, if Leo's fixing the plumbing, why is he going into Phoebe's bedroom? But,
just so they can pass him and have the scene in the doorway.
Yes.
Where Melinda says, oh, Piper, he's a treasure.
Yeah.
Piper's like,
why are you telling me?
You know why, Piper. You know why.
You absolutely know why. So then we cut to a new building, which is Halliwell Hardware and Appliance.
Because Halliwell is such a common name.
Apparently. And Matthew walks into frame, and he glances at a man wearing khakis and a blue button-up shirt who is dead and hooked up to the wall by some gardening tools.
Yep.
And the dead guy kind of reminded me of Al Borland from Home Improvement.
Nah.
Like, it's a weird thing to think, and it actually made me go to IMDb to search for the character to see if I was remembering him properly. And other than the fact that the guy isn't wearing plaid and is, like, a little more fit, he does look a bit like the character. I'm assuming it's possibly just the facial hair.
Mm-hmm.
But it made me laugh. And then Rex and Hannah walk in, and Rex is wearing a dark 3-piece pinstripe suit with a brownish-colored shirt and a brown tie with an orange pattern.
He's really, really taking to the edge of fashion.
Mm-hmm. And Hannah is wearing her burgundy jacket over a black jacket, which we find out later is pinstriped, and a red shirt with black trim. It was an interesting combo, yeah. Because there's a bright red shirt under there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
They walk in to see Matthew.
And Rex says hello to him by name. And Hannah's like, we have to do something about his clothes. Which, yeah.
Yeah.
And he asks who they are and how they know him. And Rex tells him that they're the ones that gave the witch the locket that freed him. And so that makes them partners. And Matthew's like, I work alone. But of course,
not in this century, you don't.
Yeah. And he glances up. Rex glances up at the dead man on the wall and goes, I see you've been shopping. Which made me laugh so hard. It was horrible. And he asks if he found what he was looking for. And he's like, I want Melinda Warren's children. Which...
They're not technically her children. They're her children's 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 children.
Yes.
If we're going by how many greats they said.
Yeah.
I would tack on another 3 children's.
Yeah, at least. But yeah, so he wants Melinda Warren's children, and Hannah goes back with, ooh, talk about your coincidences. Which, again, I just want to smack her.
Yeah.
Just right upside the head.
All of her lines
Yeah, they're horrible.
are so conducive to that instinct.
Yeah. But, so, Rex says that they have the means to find them, and he has the ability to take their powers, and is like, come, and turns around to leave. But he doesn't even move, and asks, how did you find me? To which, I do have to admit, best last line of a scene. He says, Prue Halliwell, a Halliwell attorney, and now here. You are leaving a trail, my friend, and that has got to stop. Which, just the way he says it, they stare each other down for a second.
Yes, there is a little bit of penis measuring going on.
A little bit. And then we cut to the manor, because can't stay in one place too long.
Nope.
And we're in the dining room, and Melinda is sitting at the head of the table, and Prue's putting the locket around her neck.
And Melinda's describing,
yeah,
what happened.
Yeah, and she's added a blue sweater on top of her dress.
Yes, it's very cute.
Yeah, it was super cute. And she's like, that once he had what he wanted, he told people that I was a witch, they arrested me, and then they burned me at the stake.
And how does she remember that?
Because she remembers?
Well, it's just really funny, because, they bring her back from the dead. I think it's interesting that they brought back a completely intact body, but with the memories of her entire life. I find that very interesting.
Hollywood?
In my memory of this episode, I thought that they had brought her back while she was, from when she was in the jail. Her last completely, untouched self. Granted, she came back a lot cleaner than she had been, but still.
Yeah.
That might have just been a magical scrubber do.
Could be.
But yeah, that's how I remembered it kind of happening, because that made sense to me why they would have to send her back. But,
I don't know. But yeah, so Piper and Phoebe both want to know why she didn't use her powers to escape. And Melinda says that she had a daughter named Prudence that meant everything to her. And that if she had used her powers, it would have proven that she was a witch, and then they would have killed her daughter too. Which, good logic to...
Which, yes.
Yeah. So she decided to accept it and hope that someone would take pity on her daughter and raise her in a safe home so that the Warren line could continue. And that it must have worked because...
They're here.
They're here. Yeah. And Phoebe...
Which doesn't she say, and here you are?
Yeah. It's kind of cute. And then Phoebe asks, why do Warren witches lose their moms so early? Because, she's got to ask these questions.
She assumes that since... the first Prudence lost her mom early, and they lost their mom early, that 2 is a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Sweetie, 2 is a coincidence. 3 is a pattern. Case in point, your mother. Your grandmother raised you.
Yep.
Your grandmother only died last year.
This year.
This year.
Yeah.
She died this year.
Yeah. I know.
I know. No. Not all witches lose their mommies.
Yep.
Your mom is prime example.
Yes.
Exhibit A.
Yes. Anyway. So Melinda says that she can't change the past, but she thinks she can protect the future. And this is when Prue comes up with he's so strong and he has this wild power that he can be in one place and then another.
Yeah. In the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Oh. Guess what it's called?
It's called blinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, why wouldn't it be? But Melinda says, explains that it's called blinking and thinks that he must have copied it from another witch. And that, she stripped him of her powers, but has no idea what other powers he still has.
Apparently pretty inferior ones.
Well.
Because his goal of getting all 3 of hers will apparently cause huge havoc.
Yeah, well.
But whatever other ones he had, weak sauce.
Apparently. But apparently...
especially that door power.
Well, yeah. Apparently his gift is to copy the power of a good witch when it's used against him. And...
how would you use the door against him?
I don't know, whacking with it?
Possibly.
I don't know. But, so...
it's a very specific form of telekinesis.
Yeah.
Well, when one door closes...
another one smacks you in the butt.
It's a revolving door, guys.
But yeah, so then Prue says that he definitely has her power, and Melinda says that once he's copied a power, it has no effect on him. And that, should he gain all 3 powers, he will be impossible to vanquish. Now here's my question. he had all 3 of your powers, and yet you still vanquished him by stripping those powers from him.
She did say almost. And that's because she tricked him into pulling a piece of paper out of a locket.
It was a rose petal.
It's a fucking piece of paper, bitch.
Rose petal.
It's a piece of paper.
Rose petal.
Piece of paper.
Hold on. Let me check the poll.
Don't you fucking dare.
Let me check the poll. Hey, look! Now we're at 4 votes, 3-1 against you.
Oh,
Booyah.
I told you not to check.
3-1 against. It's a rose petal. Anyway, so Prue asks what they do, and Melinda says we curse him back into the locket, and Piper comes back with, and if we can't? And then there's complete silence around the table.
Because no one has a plan B.
Yep.
Because that's not available over the counter yet.
Ah, so bad.
No, that one was pretty good.
So bad.
That one was pretty good.
So bad.
No, okay, objectively, that one was pretty good. That was not an awkward setup. Not like the date I had last week.
Oh, woman. Woman. I swear to dog.
I am always looking for an opening.
I swear to dog. Right, Blue?
I swear to dog, there is no God.
Anyway, so then we cut to Buckland. We're in Rex's office, and there are many shopping bags on the desk.
Shopping spree.
Yeah.
Any excuse for Hannah to go shopping and watch a guy change.
Mm-hmm. And Matthew is topless and is zipping up a pair of jeans that already have a belt in them.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Weird. And Hannah is sitting on a chair with her back to him, and this is when we could tell now that the black jacket that she was wearing is pinstriped. And he asks if the pants are meant to be so tight, and she just kind of peeks over her shoulder and then whips her head back and is like, absolutely. Which gets the best line from him was, no wonder your men frown all the time. It's a wonder they can even walk. Which made me laugh so hard.
Spoiler alert, Matthew. This is the 90s. Those pants are not that tight.
I know, right? Jeez.
He should come now.
Oh my god.
With all them skinny jeans.
Could you imagine if they did a reboot of this show now?
Oh dear. Well, they probably wouldn't make that comment, but... Well, they might, but still. They definitely would. This would be one of the comments they would keep, but they probably wouldn't do the same plot lines.
Yeah, I hope not, because some of these plot lines are just terrible.
Insane. Oh,
you know,
no,
like
I tell
episode
you,
106.
I tell you, the new series happens. Letter writing campaign to get you as a continuity master.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although I hope they don't reboot it, honestly.
No, I really hope they don't. Really hope they don't.
It's such a jewel of its time.
It's perfection as is, even with all of its bullshit and episode 106. It is perfection.
Indeed.
Indeed. And nobody else should ever play Leo.
No one.
Just
Brian Krause is Leo. That's it.
Yes. So he asks if they look right, and she barely glances at him before saying yes. And he comes back with, if it pleases you to look. Which, again, it was a funny line. Like, it was well delivered.
He is a douche that knows he is a good-looking douche.
Yeah. Well, and because
Which
it was,
is probably some of the charm Melinda fell for.
Yeah. Well, and it was, it was a different time in the 17th century. So I get where he's going, because he doesn't understand the false modesty, and, she's saying it's a very complex issue.
Sexual
harassment? Yeah, I heard that.
I wrote it down, like, political correctness.
Yeah.
PC culture.
Yeah. Sexual harassment. Yeah, she's been hanging around with Rex too long.
Oh my god.
And then she does this, like, weird pursing of her lips thing.
Yeah,
and, like,
make her mouth
biting
look
her
super
top
tiny.
lip. And then this, like, pouty mouth thing. Like, she did weird facial things in this scene, and it was just was
like
odd.
I'm doing now.
Yes. It was odd. But then, he comes back with the, what a strange time this is. So open yet so closed, where even a warlock feels shame.
He feels no shame.
And then Rex walks in and breaks the sexual tension that's supposed to be happening.
Supposed. Being the operative word.
Yeah. And he comes in with one of the funniest deliveries of a line of, what the devil? It was just great. It was super great.
In case you forgot, he's British.
Yeah, super great. And she's like, I told you I'd get him dressed. And he goes, yeah, 10 minutes ago.
Aw, jealous Rex.
Yes. And then again, we get lines that just make me laugh. Matthew comes back with we tried on many things. She said it was difficult to choose. And Rex comes with, playtime's over, big boy. legit losing my shit over that line. Like, what?
I just realized that any descriptor you put in front of his name makes it sound like a cat breed or something. Jealous Rex.
Tyrannosaurus Rex. Oh, wait.
Cataropolis Rex.
Alright. Anyway, so then, Rex leans in real close to Hannah and whispers that, remember, he goes back from whence he came once his task is completed. Which, again, with
very
the
aggressively,
lines.
too.
Yeah. And then we cut back to the manor, and all four ladies are walking into the attic. And Melinda can't believe that she doesn't remember all of the ingredients. And Prue reminds her that it's been a while since she cursed Matthew. And Phoebe chimes in with like 300 years. And Piper says that whatever she doesn't remember should be in the Book of Shadows. And then Melinda mentions, because now they're over at the Book of Shadows, and Melinda mentions that the Book of Shadows has gotten so thick. And Prue questions that, that it wasn't always that way. Yeah. But Melinda says that obviously each generation of Warren witches had added to it over the years, and asks if they had added anything to it. And Phoebe comes back with, us? Are you kidding?
Wait.
We're new at this. We can't just make up our own spell.
Wait, can we?
Which gets a huge smile from Prue that made me laugh. And Melinda says that, all things in time, the book will grow as you grow. Sometimes you add to it, sometimes it teaches you. And then we get this thing from the Wikia, where we see Melinda Warren imprisoned in Salem in 1692. However, in the pilot episode, Something Wicca This Way Comes, the date listed on the front of the Book of Shadows is 1693. Assuming that she was never released from prison and did not create the book while in prison, one of these dates is a glitch.
Probably the first one.
Now, here's the thing. The date on the cover may have been there because the next generation of Warren witches, i.e. Melinda's daughter, made that cover page.
Yeah.
And that book has to be rebound, because especially if the book didn't start out that thick, it would have had to have been rebound a few times at least.
And do we see it in its original?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But also,
I know we see it in another form, not its original.
Yes. But also, until a more modern age, the book probably wouldn't have been bound in such an ostentatious way.
True.
The green, the triquetra, fucking huge on the cover.
Ketra.
Ketra. Thank you. I knew I was saying that.
Otherwise you were saying 3-4.
The huge symbol on the front of it.
Triketra.
Thank you. It's pure speculation on my part, but I thought it was worth mentioning, of the fact that, the book wouldn't have been bound like that back in the day, because you wouldn't have done a huge fucking binding for a thin, tiny book, first of all. But the fact that that page that says 1693 could have absolutely been her daughter doing it.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. Maybe someone in her coven.
Well,
because who else would keep the book for the daughter? The daughter's presumably kind of young.
Well, I don't know. We aren't told how young the daughter is. The other thing is that we don't know what year she was burnt at the stake, supposedly, in this universe, seeing as no one was actually burned in Salem. But we see Salem in 1692, but that could have been, December of 1692. We don't know.
This is true.
So, the 1693 absolutely could have been whoever got the book next. Or, it could have been somebody fucked up on the date, like someone, in the 1700s was like, oh, what year did this book start? I don't know, 1690 something. 3 maybe? Okay, we'll write that down. It could absolutely happen that way. You don't always remember. If you weren't there, you don't necessarily remember what year it happened.
Mm-hmm. And if you were worried about us not being pedantic, your fears have definitely been assuaged.
Yes. Sorry. My mother does enough genealogy that I get into these moods of, this could totally have happened. Because, she's told me stories. Hi, Mom. She's told me stories about, ages in the census being completely wrong because whoever answered the door to the census taker guessed. So, it makes perfect sense to me that somebody fucked up the date and was like, I don't know, 1690 something. Just write down 93. Yeah, that'll work. I was okay with that. Whatever. So, yeah, I digress. So Melinda finds the curse in the book, which just happens to be on the exact page that she opened the book to.
Thanks, mysterious
convenience.
Thanks, mysterious book turner.
No, she opened it.
I know, but the book turner might have helped.
I doubt it. She opened it. But whatever. I was happy to see that it wasn't 3 pages in.
Yeah.
It was a good handful of pages in, which was nice. And Prue hands her a pencil and paper, and she just kind of looks at it confused.
Says, no ink?
Yeah, just start writing. No ink? No. So she starts writing, and she gives the best one.
Like,
oh! It was great. I love it. And she smiles, and I wrote in my notes, she smiles, as do the girls. They're finding this just adorable as I do.
ha.
And then Piper glances down at the book, saying Grams must have added this one, looking at the opposite page of the page that Melinda's curse is on.
This must have been a section that filled up real quick.
Yeah, I don't... See, this is my problem with this book. Sometimes there's things written on both sides of pages. Sometimes there isn't.
Sometimes there's chapter headings.
Yeah.
And other times you have a spell next to a curse.
Yeah. So, next to the curse to put Matthew back in the locket, we have a spell to increase patience. You know, as you do.
If you go with some older slang, that's about getting patients pregnant.
What?
To increase. I've heard it used that way. Probably on a TV show, so it may not be entirely accurate, but still.
I was going to say a psych reference. I've heard it both ways.
Yes.
Anyway, so Phoebe says that she bets that Graham used that spell a lot, raising them. and Prue comes back with, we weren't all troublemakers, Phoebe.
Phoebe's like, I wasn't a troublemaker. I was,
A pain, a free spirit, a handful. It was a cute back and forth. I liked it a lot. And then Melinda comes back with, a Warren. That it's a family trait. So are the short tempers, great cheekbones, strong wills, and of course the Powers. I love how Powers was just the last on the list.
She's like, oh yeah, that one too. It's a thing.
Yeah. And that it's all blessings, all signs from where they came from, and that the book is their connection, and it all began with her. And Prue says, well, let's make sure it doesn't end with us. Which was cute. We need to get going, and we cut back to Buckland's, because, of course, why wouldn't we?
Where Matthew, not Sweet Calves, is getting a debriefing.
Yes.
From Buckland and Hannah. And there's like a file on the table, and it's got pictures of Phoebe and Piper and Prue. Phoebe in a particularly low-cut tank top. Oh, wait, I remember which episode that was.
Yep.
Wasn't that last episode?
Yeah.
Because that was the outfit.
Yeah.
So they just got these.
Yeah.
And Not Sweet Calves is all like, these are such marvelous paintings.
You cannot feel the brushstrokes.
And they don't even bother to explain it to them. They're like, this is super unimportant.
And Hannah comes back with, remind us to take you to the movies when this is all over. Which was a funny line. It was,
and something that would definitely confound him.
Yeah. I hope the sound of the dryer or the washer or whatever that is isn't coming through too loud.
I think it's coming through a little bit. Let's turn down the gain. Okay, it went down.
Okay.
But that means we're also a little softer.
That means we get to both lean in.
Oh my god!
Alright.
Okay, now we're pretty much back up at normal. But yeah, I'll have to remind everybody that there's kind of a moratorium on Sunday washing.
So I apologize if the audio gets a little janky from here on out.
Yeah.
As new set and it's in a basement with
laundry.
So yeah. So then Rex gives Matthew the address of Quake and says that Hannah will drive him there so he can take Piper's power. And Hannah doesn't seem to be too excited to drive him. Maybe it's because he has all of his clothes on.
That's probably the reason.
Yeah. And then I have a picture for this bit.
What about that bit?
There's a Fitbit. They don't need no picture. So then we get a new exterior shot of the manor, which is taken from a side we don't normally see.
Oh, hey, there's a widow's walk on it.
A widow's walk? Is
up
that
at the
what
top.
You call this thing, or is that thing?
Up at the top. Oh, believe me, I was obsessed with Victorian architecture when I was a kid.
Okay. Whatever. The point is that it's taken from a side we don't normally see, and we're given a glimpse of a small deck off of one of the rooms.
Yeah. On
the second floor. And we can see that the roof is a bit higher in the back of the house, which is possibly where the attic is supposed to go. I still don't think that attic could actually fit in the house.
It can't.
But this at least gives me something to consider in regards to that.
Well, the attic still can't fit in the house, so...
Yeah, no. But it does show that the back of the house roof is a little taller, I guess.
Okay.
So there's that. So, in the kitchen, the girls are getting together the ingredients for the curse, and Melinda hands the list to Piper, who hands the list to Phoebe, which I thought was kind of funny, because it's like, I can do this, and she can do that, and everything's fine, and whatever. And Phoebe says that they've never done a curse before, and Melinda's happy about that, because they're not to be taken lightly. And Phoebe says that she feels like there's so much more that they could be learning, or doing, if they had the right teacher. And Melinda comes back with, I'd savor my first gift before I move on to the next one.
She knows what's up.
Absolutely. But Phoebe comes back with, I see pictures. What's to savor? And
she doesn't see pictures. She sees movies.
Yeah. Tiny short films, if you will. But Melinda's like, no. You see visions of the future and the past. It'll allow you to protect and to heal. And Phoebe comes back with like a, did you hear that, Prue? Like somehow Prue thought her power was crap, you know? And Prue is standing at the window looking out, and Piper tells her to stop looking for Andy because he should be long gone. And she says that he'll probably be back with a warrant, which I thought was funny. And Phoebe says, yeah, like Andy would ever arrest you.
Methinks they might have role-played that a few times.
Hey, I am keeping my thoughts on that matter silent.
You agree with me.
I said nothing.
You agree with me.
I said nothing.
And yet you said everything.
Anyway, so Phoebe says, like Andy would ever arrest you, and Prue kind of ignores that and walks over and asks if they have everything. And Piper says that there's a few herbs that they don't have, but that she can get them from Quake. And Phoebe comes back with, the only problem is the feather from a spotted owl. And Melinda asks, how is that a problem? And Prue says that they're an endangered species.
Which, of course, Melinda doesn't really understand, because the idea of a national organization dedicated to the preservation of wildlife is a bit out of her league.
A little bit. But according to the Wikia,
spotted owls don't live there.
Yeah. There were no spotted owls, endangered or otherwise, on the East Coast where and when Melinda came from. So she shouldn't have needed that for the spell. But my thought on that was,
maybe it was just an owl that had spots.
No, that it might have been a point to make it hard to get.
Well, yeah, but there were other things you could find that lived on the East Coast back then that were probably endangered now.
Well,
or
probably,
at least close enough.
Probably, but the point is,
where did spotted owls live?
South America.
Oh, yeah. Find something in North America, please.
Yeah. My thought on it was that it might have been a point being made that it was, hard to get so that you wouldn't take the curse lightly. But I don't know where the spotted owl would have been from in the 1600s, so I'm not so sure about that. Like, I don't know whatever.
The British had hundreds of breeds of pigeon. I think naturalists would have been collecting other birds.
Maybe.
Like, that makes it a little more feasible to me. Granted, going as far as South America for an owl?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe not.
I don't know. But whatever. Piper asks if they can get one from the zoo, and Melinda asks, what's a zoo?
And Phoebe starts trying to explain it to her, but Phoebe is bad with explanations of things, apparently.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, it's a big garden.
Yeah.
Cages.
It's a cage. And Prue just cuts her off and is like, I'll work on getting the feather. And she asks Piper if she can handle getting the herbs. And Piper says yes, but that she might have a problem leaving once she gets to Quake because she's supposed to work the night shift. And so Phoebe says that she'll go with her to bring back the stuff if she gets stuck. And Melinda's like, no, you can't leave the house. You're the two that Matthew needs. And Piper says it's fine because there's no way he shouldn't even know about Quake.
Jinx.
Yeah. Then we cut to Quake. Hello, Floral Skirt Lady again.
Yep.
Should we start a tally for her? No, because that would mean having to go back and rewatch. There's no time for that, and besides, I shudder to think of having to rewatch 106 just for that.
They don't go to Quake in 106, though.
But, as we now see that she has also showed up outside Buckland...
Oh, yeah, they do go to Buckland.
Yeah, they do. So I refuse. But if anybody else wants to watch and keep a tally and tweet at me...
Yes.
And let me know, I'd be cool with that.
How many, Floral Skirt Lady?
Tan jacket, floral skirt.
Yeah.
Yep.
TJFS.
So we see Hannah and Matthew sitting in the car across the street, and we get a single line from Matthew saying, I've waited over 300 years for my revenge. As soon as Piper gets here, I shall have it.
What about Phoebe?
Well, he doesn't know Phoebe's coming, because he knows Piper works at Quake. So,
this is true, but if he needs all three powers, he can't have revenge until he has all three powers.
Yes, but the power to freeze would make it super easy for him to get the other one. So I get that.
Well, would it? It doesn't work on witches.
No, but having the power to freeze, he could do something, I'm sure.
Es posible?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. But I love my notes, right? This is my note from after he says that line. Floral Skirt Lady is just having a grand time today. They use two slightly different cuts of her walking up to Quake in this scene, so we get to see her walk up twice. Gotta love that, right? Then we get a commercial break, and when we come back, we see Floral Skirt Lady walking into Quake. See, if I were to try to have to keep a tally of that, I would go mad. It's like a drinking game where you'd be too drunk to see before you'd gotten to the end of the episode.
Well, also you're a lightweight.
I am. I really am. But I would be drunk on water with how many times we see this fucking chick.
Oh my god, yeah.
Just saying. Anyway, like I said, commercial break, we cut back to Quake. with Piper and Phoebe walking in, and they have both added jackets to their outfits. Phoebe's is leather, Piper's is wool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just gotta keep up the trend of selling you the clothes. And Piper says that she should go ahead to the kitchen. And I love the line she says, "I'm gonna go cough on Martin and tell him I'm highly contagious so I can go home." Which I just thought was hilarious. And Phoebe replies with,
And good strategy.
"Love that plan." Yeah, she was just great. So she goes in the kitchen. A waitress walks up to Piper saying, "Did your sweetie find you?" And I love the way she comes back with, "My what?" Which was just, it was perfect, perfect acting moment.
And the waitress says, "Oh, yeah.
Guy with the English accent called to see if you were working today." I was like, okay, now here's my thought. Is she talking Rex with the English accent? Because Matthew does not have English accent.
Exactly. Rex called.
Yeah.
Because Rex knows how to operate a phone, unlike people from the 1690s, as we'll see in a minute.
You know, there's that. So then we cut to the kitchen, and Matthew and Phoebe are there, where Phoebe is holding a rolling pin, and Matthew is backing her into a corner. She goes to hit him with it, but he grabs it and throws it on the floor. And then he grabs her, and she has a premonition of Matthew choking out Melinda while standing in the manor.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He now has Phoebe's power, even though I'm not so sure you can exactly use a passive power against someone. But still, it was used while he was in contact.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so then he goes, "Oh, when I see Melinda's here, you know, great, she'll die at my hand," that kind of thing. He pushes Phoebe to the ground and then blinks out of the room just as Piper walks in. And she's like, you know, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, Matthew was here, he's gone, and he's copied my power." And then we get outside the manor. We have an extended shot from the side view that we rarely see. And the camera pans down, and we see that Andy is sitting in his car staring at the house.
Having a nice little stakeout.
Yeah. And we cut inside, and Prue and Melinda are walking down the stairs. And this is where Prue says that she's found a stuffed spotted owl at the museum where she used to work. And Melinda says, "But we only need one feather." And Prue comes back with, "Good, maybe that'll keep it down to a misdemeanor." Which I thought was funny.
It was.
It was great. So she says she'll be back as soon as she can. Melinda says okay. Prue hugs her and leaves. Now, why they're leaving Melinda in the house alone, I do not understand.
Probably because having her is going to be conspicuous, and trying to get out of anything with her is going to be even more conspicuous.
Yeah, I don't know. But, so we cut to outside, and Prue backs out of the driveway in the black convertible that was totaled back in episode 105 Dream Sorcerer when she crashed it into a pole.
Yep.
You know. And she drives down the street and Andy follows her. And then we cut back inside, and Melinda walks into the kitchen. She sees the food processor on the counter.
Decides
Why not.
turn it on.
Pushes a button, it turns on, she freaks out.
And then turns it off.
Yeah, turns it back off, and then the phone rings, and she looks around, scared at that noise. We do a quick cut to Quake, where Piper and Phoebe are sitting at the bar, and Phoebe's on the phone, "Come on, answer." And then we cut back to Melinda, who follows the sound of the ringing, and walks over to the phone. The machine picks up after only 3 rings, which is just weird. We get Phoebe's voice on the message, saying, you know, "We're not home, you know the drill."
And Melinda, of course, tries to answer her right there.
Yeah, because she's like, you know, "Pick up," and she's like, "Phoebe?" So, like, she recognizes the voice, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, Phoebe then on the machine is like, "Are you guys there?" And we get Melinda, "I'm here," which was just funny. It was super cute.
This is like the really cute version of her technology.
Yeah. And, you know, Phoebe comes back on the machine of, you know, "You need to be really careful." And Melinda's yelling her name at the phone, like, "Why can't you hear me?" kind of thing. And Phoebe starts to say, you know, "Matthew is here, he could be on his way." But before she finishes the word "way," Melinda pushes a button and turns the machine off.
Yep.
Because, yeah.
Because she wanted to try something, and it's not her fault she didn't know which button would make the machine turn off.
Yeah.
Presumably, she can read. But, I mean, I've looked at phones before and been completely baffled as to how to make them function.
Yep, absolutely.
So
we do a quick cut back to Quake, where Phoebe goes, "The line went dead," and then they both book it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they book it out. And then cut back to the manor, because, you know, can't stay in one place too long.
Nope.
Cut back to the manor, there's a bang on the front door, and Melinda runs into the foyer, and there's Matthew.
There's a bang from the front door. From the front door slamming open.
Yes.
Because
once
Matthew's
again,
amazing door powers.
yes, because once again, for some fucking reason, he needs to open a door to blink into the room. So they have a bit back and forth and talking about penis sizes, I guess. I don't know. It was basically, my powers are better than yours. Me. That kind of, back and
intimidation.
forth.
That's not really working because we all know Matthew's got more powers than Melinda.
So yeah, they have a bit of back and forth of craziness, where she says the sight of him still makes her ill, and he says the fact that I can now destroy your line forever makes you so much more appealing, which I thought was a little funny.
Yeah, douche move. I can destroy you, and power gets me off.
Yeah, a little bit. He threatens the girls, and she says you won't touch them, and he says, he already has 2 of their powers, he just needs the 3rd, and it's like, unless you want to freeze me. And he holds her against the wall, just like Phoebe saw in her vision, and she replies with, go to hell where you belong.
Yeah.
And then he has a premonition of them adding the feather to the potion. And it's like, that's why they brought you back, so that you could curse me again. It's like, I might as well just kill you now. And she says, go ahead.
She's already given them the curse.
Yeah, I've already given them the curse. And he goes, you're lying. She goes, am I? It's like, yes. You tell him, you get him.
Yeah.
And so he asks where Prue is. And Melinda comes back with, she's at the zoo, which was great. It was just it was the best delivery of that. Like, okay. So he kisses her.
Because he's a sadistic mofo.
Yeah. And then he blinks out of the room with the door still wide open.
He declined to use his door powers.
Yes. And the last shot that we see of her before we cut to the next scene is
she's crying.
Her trying not to cry.
No, she's crying.
But there's tears. She's trying not to.
There are tears.
She's shuddering and trying not to cry.
Yeah, she's like a little breathing shiver kind of thing.
Yeah. Then we cut to Buckland, and Hannah walks into Rex's office.
Rex is lounging on the couch.
Yeah. Reclining lovingly on the couch. And
he already knows.
Yeah.
She's lost him.
Right.
She's lost not sweet calves.
Yes. And she replies with, we've had this conversation, please stay out of my mind.
And I love that we're finally getting, insight into what exactly any of them can do.
Yeah.
Because, we've never seen them use any kind of magic.
Yeah.
We don't know how they know about it. We know they're bad.
Well, we did see her blow on his cigar and make it light up.
Okay, yeah. We saw that one.
Yeah.
But that's extremely minor, and it was a ripoff of Practical Magic. So...
Yes.
Which, interestingly enough, is a movie that is not as dated as this TV show.
Very true.
Very true.
But I think even the filmography.
Even the No, it's just that's what happens when you try and get trendy clothing. It gets super dated super fast.
Yeah.
And when you have them change 5 times an episode, it gets even faster.
So
because
true.
You have to have even more trendy clothing.
But yeah, so we learned that apparently Rex can read minds, which is nice. And he asks if Matthew copied Piper's power, and Hannah says that she doesn't know, but that something happened and they all took off. And Rex asks why she didn't follow him, and she says that she tried. And then she asks him, why don't you just follow them right now? And he comes back with, because I haven't mastered that ability yet, unfortunately.
We don't know what ability she's talking about.
But she comes back with just this lovely little, oh. Shit, I thought you had. Kind of that's the way she reacted to that. And then Rex comes back with, we need Matthew to provide us with the sisters' powers. Otherwise, we don't stand a chance in hell.
Well, hell's where they're going.
Yes. And, tells her to find him, and then we cut back to the manor. But, so now, we have a little more insight
into what their plans are.
Yeah, that they want the sisters' power.
How they're gonna get it from Matthew, who knows?
And we won't find out, because it doesn't happen.
Yes.
So we cut back to the manor, and Piper and Phoebe walk in, and Piper calls for Prue and Melinda, and Melinda calls out, and they walk into the living room where she's sitting on the couch clutching a pillow.
Poor thing.
Yeah. And Phoebe asks if she's okay, and Melinda says that she is, that Matthew is here, but don't worry, he's gone. And Phoebe said that, he found him at the restaurant, he copied her power, and then he said he was going to kill you, and that kind of stuff. And she's like, it's fine, we have to hurry before he gets back, and asks if they got all the herbs. And Piper says, yes, that now all they need is the feather. And Melinda says that Prue's taking care of it. And Phoebe's like, how? Cut to a nighttime sky shot, then a foggy shot of a security guard walking with a flashlight outside what is supposed to be the museum. Prue walks out, holding the feather, and Andy's there.
As you do.
Yeah. She asks what he's doing there, and he's like, you have to come with me. And then we cut back to Buckland's, because, why wouldn't we cut back to Buckland's? Mm-hmm. And we're back in Rex's office, and he's sitting at his desk, and Hannah comes flying through the door and
So
lands
gracefully.
on the floor. And she stands back up and is like, I found Matthew. He's like,
Yep.
I can see.
Not sweet calves tossed her through the door.
Absolutely.
With Prue's power.
Yep.
Because he was mad he didn't find her at the zoo.
Yes.
Never mind how he would know what a zoo is or where to find it. But, he found the white pages. Actually, the yellow pages that happened to be white. But,
But yeah, so he says that he needs to find Prue and stop her. And Rex is like, you're supposed to be after Piper and Phoebe. I don't understand what's happening. He goes, well, I already have the power of premonition. I saw the eldest working on the curse help me find her. And Rex is like, no, you can't be distracted. You have to stay on track. You have to get the Piper's power.
Matthew's understandably pissed because these partners he didn't want are now telling him what to do.
Yeah. And he goes, but, the curse will end me. They brought Melinda Warren back from the dead to do it. Hannah comes back with, they did what? Which is just great. It was just great. And Rex is like, if they're planning to send you back, then they have to cast the spell from their home. So, Hannah chimes in with, Prue will have to return there to do it. And we get this line from Rex, which just made me laugh, which is where you can thwart her and then gain the power to freeze. If he
uses thwart.
If he wasn't British, that line would sound so stupid.
Oh, it sounds kind of stupid now.
But it would sound even worse.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. So Matthew says that he's already tried, that they'd rather die than give me that. And then Rex gets a gun out of his desk drawer and says, try again.
He hands him. Yeah. And then
cocks the gun and then hands it to him. And he just kind of...
Well, he loads it and then cocks it.
Right.
And then just
hands it to
over.
Matthew, who just kind of looks at it and smiles.
Like, Matthew would know what a gun is. Pretty sure. But he would not know what a safety is. Which is what would definitely be on. And which is what Rex did not shut off.
True. But here's the caveat. I understand that he might not have been able to... Or he might have known instinctively how to use the gun. But something tells me Rex showed him.
This is true.
At least showed him, flip this switch, point, and click. Because, it's not...
It's just really funny to me that, you have a warlock from the 17th century. Sure, give him modern technology. That'll work out.
Well, but the thing is, I know that there was a question of, how would he have known how to use the gun and blah, blah, blah. It's like...
Triggers have not changed.
Yeah, but something tells me that Rex showed him how to do it. It's not like we cut from him getting the gun to him immediately walking over to Prue and putting a gun to her head. That's not what happens. We have a bit of time between then and whatever. So, So he pulls out the gun, says try again, and then we cut back to the museum where we get a quick view of the sign outside which says Birds of South America on it. So this is where I wrote in my notes, is that where spotted owls come from? How and why would Melinda have needed a spotted owl feather then? But which is what I'm saying, is I think it might have been a gotta make it something hard where you had to trade for it or something, something, because
maybe
you can't
it was
take
something.
a curse lightly.
Maybe it was something she came by and asked someone what it was, and they told her, and she's like, "Well, I know to use this for something really that I'm only going to use once."
Who knows? Who knows? Anyway,
the owl does.
Yes. So Andy and Prue are now sitting in his car, and he's
trying to give her the
third degree.
Yeah.
The fourth dimension. Wait, no.
Third degree burn, more like.
Yeah. And he asks her, why the feather? And she's like, I already had it from before. And he says, before what? No, go ahead, you can say it. Before breaking and entering into a museum?
He technically doesn't have evidence that she broke and entered. Just that she was trespassing.
Well, you don't know, because he did follow her there, so he might have watched her do it. Again, I apologize for any background sounds that are happening, because now there's clothes in the dryer.
Mm-hmm. Clearly something with buttons or a zipper.
Yeah, or both.
Mm-hmm.
And it's loud and obnoxious, and I apologize. I'll try my best to cut it out, but it's going too fast, and I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get rid of all of it.
All we can hope is talk over it. So let's do that.
Yes. So he says, breaking and entering, whatever, which she did before she obstructed justice. And she's like, how did I obstruct justice? And he says, don't play dumb with me. You're in a lot of trouble.
She technically didn't obstruct justice.
No.
She was never asked a question.
Yeah.
She never obfuscated. She just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Evasion, maybe, but that's only after being arrested.
Yeah. So He says she's in trouble, that, he can't help her out of unless she helps him. Prue says that maybe she should talk to a lawyer. And he comes back with, you really want to go there? You really want me to arrest you? Like, he's kind of annoying me in this scene. But I understand his logic of there's something going on and whatever. But, so she's like, you have to let me go. And he's like, no, I can't look the other way. And she's like, it isn't just me, it's my sisters too. And he's like, just tell me what's going on. And she's like, I'm sorry, I have to go. And he's like, you can't.
And he's like, if you really trust me,
yeah,
you'll tell me. And you can tell for a second she's
for once in your life,
it.
just trust me. It's like,
she's considering it. But she ain't got time for that shit.
No.
Ain't nobody got time for that shit.
No, absolutely not. But then she squints her eyes and the airbag blows up and she gets out of the car. And
she says, I have to go, grabs the feather, squints her eyes, airbag blows, pinning Andy to his seat.
Right.
And then she gets out of the car because, miraculously, it's not locked.
Well, yeah.
Well, granted, she is in the front seat, but still.
Right.
And it's a detective car, so there's not a partition between the front and the back.
Right.
Or, sorry, inspector. It's an inspector's car.
Yes. And apparently this airbag doesn't work like any other normal airbag ever.
Because it remains inflated.
Yeah, because normal airbags explode in a cloud of powder and deflate almost as quickly. And they can also give you a black eye if you're sitting in the wrong position when they go off.
You know this from experience, do you?
Not my own experience, but yes. Yes, I do. One of my friends got into a car accident and was sitting kind of like cockeyed in the seat. The airbag went off and he got a bloody nose and a black eye. As it popped him right in the face.
Yep.
So then we get commercial break. And now it's nighttime at the manor.
Yay.
And in the kitchen, Melinda's scooping the potion into a small pouch. And it's, the final spoonful, as you do, a la convenience, if you will. Mm-hmm. And she says that they're ready, that all they need is the feather. And, Piper said, what's keeping her. And Phoebe's like, she should be fine, Matthew already copied her power. And Melinda comes back with, besides, I sent him to the zoo. Which was funny. It was super funny.
She's so proud.
Yeah.
She practiced deception and did it well.
Yes. And, Phoebe says she's probably stuck in traffic, which
Melinda doesn't question.
Yeah.
Granted, she probably knows of traffic.
Well, but she does kind of give this little, facial movement of, I don't understand what that means, but I'm just going to ignore it.
Yes.
And she's like, when she returns, we'll add the feather and we'll seek out Matthew. And Phoebe says, do you think he's going to be hard to find? And there he is! He just shows up and is like, nope, not at all. I've waited too long for this moment to hide. And Melinda's like, this is our battle, leave them alone! And, he wants what he came for, and he uses the telekinesis to pull Piper towards him.
Just slide her along the floor.
Slide her along like she's
just
on a
like
skateboard.
Javana slid Prue along the floor with his laser eyes.
Yep. And it makes you laugh. He goes, your powers or your death. Like he's somehow going to leave her alive if he gets the powers. I mean, really?
No.
Really?
No.
And, he's like, freeze me. And she says, in your dreams. And then he pulls out the gun and points it at Piper's head. And is like, I said freeze me. And then is like, no, you're not going to save yourself? Fine. And he points the gun at Phoebe and is like, save your sister. And Prue then walks in at that exact moment and is like, save yourself. And the way she said it was totally a go fuck yourself kind of line.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Matthew lets go of Piper because now Prue is there with the feather and is like, give me the feather. But apparently, since he copied her power, Prue can't use it on him, but she can use it against him.
Yeah, she
uses it to make the gun fly out of his hands and then throw a chair at him. But honestly, he reacts like that chair was way heavier than it probably would have been. Because that chair did not seem like it would have been that heavy. But whatever. So Piper ran away from him. Prue runs over and hands the feather to Melinda, who puts it in the pouch. Like the vision happened.
Yep.
Piper freezes Matthew. Melinda opens the locket, says the curse again.
And we get some more lovely wind effects.
Yep, as he unfreezes. And Melinda says the lovely line of, it's what you deserve. Which was great. And of course, as he's getting sucked into the locket, he's like, this is not the end! She closes the locket. She
doesn't close it.
Well, the locket closes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the locket closes because he gets sucked into it again and we see some little swirling happening in the redstone on the top. And she's like, yes it is. This is for eternity. But the girls... judging by the looks on their faces, they don't seem completely convinced that this was the best outcome. They had this, looks on their face I'm not sure if that's really a good thing. I don't know. It was just weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
So then we cut to Buckland's in Rex's office. And Hannah's like, I followed him and we failed. What do we do now? And Rex is like, I don't know. We're gonna have to think of something. He's gonna be none too pleased to learn that we have failed. So now we know that Rex and Hannah are working for someone else.
Yes. This I did not remember.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was like, is this new information to me? What is going on? How did I not know about this? I have no idea who they're working for, which is delightful for me, except I'm probably going to remember in like another 2 episodes.
I remember who they're working for, but that's...
I know. I'm sure I will remember it before the episode where it is actually revealed.
Yeah.
Because that's how my brain works.
Yep. But yeah, so Hannah says that it wasn't complete failure because we proved that they're the charmed ones, so that's gotta count. And Rex is like, it'll buy us just a little bit of time. And then we get the weirdest little moment between them, where Hannah's like, you should have listened to me, we should have taken care of them ourselves. And he's like, you're right, we should have done. And then he grabs her by the back of the head. And then we cut to the police station. Like,
she's into
what?
it.
Like, yeah, like I don't, it's one of those things where you don't know if something sexual is about to happen or if he's about to like bite her face. You know what I mean? It's just, it was a weird interaction. But we cut to the police station and Daryl and Andy are arguing because apparently Andy wants to wake a judge
to get a warrant to arrest Prue for some nebulous reason.
Yeah.
And Daryl has my favorite line of the episode.
Yeah.
He will bust your rank.
Yeah.
And I remember this line, Daryl saying it.
Yeah.
I remembered that for years. It sticks in my memory. Just the aesthetic of him saying bust. Like, with the lips and everything.
Yes.
It's great.
Yes. And see, I liked the next line where he says, you'll be cleaning out parking meters for a living. And I'm like, dude, I would totally do that job because I'm weird.
Yeah.
Like, I would totally be like, what do you want me to, do you want me to clean out all the quarters? Sure. Give me a bucket. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't actually want to do that. But, it just sounded like an interesting thing. Yeah. So he says all that, whatever. And he's like, what? I should just let it go? What about her evading arrest? Am I supposed to let that go?
She wasn't arrested. She didn't evade arrest.
I don't know. He asks if he's supposed to let that go, and Daryl's like, damn right. Unless you want to tell the judge exactly how that little lady got away from you, which was just amazing.
Speaking of which, how did
she get away from you? He goes, I don't want to talk about it. And so he turns to leave. And then Daryl calls him by his last name.
Because this is the bro code.
Yeah. It's like, take my advice, let it go, don't embarrass yourself. So then we cut to the manor the next morning. And we get a lovely view of the house where we can see the weather vane on the top of the house.
Yeah.
It's a fish.
Uh-huh.
I loved it. Then Piper runs down.
Wait. Maybe that's why Andy's so suspicious.
What?
Because there's something fishy about them.
Oh, Jesus, woman.
He just can't seem to get pointed in the right direction.
Oh, man. I'm going to ignore it. Going to ignore it.
You're gonna fucking leave it in.
Going to ignore it. Okay, so Piper runs down the stairs wearing a green fuzzy sweater with little flower patches on the collar over a white shirt and jeans. And Leo's there wearing a blue t-shirt, and I'm assuming jeans. And he has the extension cord over his shoulder. And Piper's like, you're here. Why are you here? And he's like, I thought I'd work on the plumbing in the downstairs bathroom. And she's like,
doesn't exist after this season.
Yep. And she's like, now's not really a good time. We're getting our cousin Melinda ready to go away. The way that line comes across was just a little weird. Like, we're getting ready to kill her. We're getting ready for her to go away.
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. But so she asks if he can come back later, like tomorrow. And he says, sure, no problem. And he turns to leave, and she calls him back, and he turns around with like a smile on his face, like, what now? And she asks him out. She goes, would you like to go out sometime with me, that is? Which was just, it was so cute.
He seems like politely startled, and he immediately says yes.
Yeah, he's like, I'd love to. Give me a call. She's like, okay. She goes back upstairs, and, Phoebe's like, who was it? She says, it was Leo. And Prue goes, is he gone? And she replies, we're perfectly safe. That did not answer the question.
Kind of
To be fair, that didn't really answer the question.
I mean, it's more indicative of an answer than it would have been last week.
I guess. I don't know. Whatever. So, since they're perfectly safe, they begin the spell. Piper joins the others on the table. So now we have new outfits because it's the next day.
Mm-hmm. Prue is in a delightful blue cable knit fuzzy turtleneck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have it down that it was kind of grayish.
It was kind of a blue gray.
Yeah, but whatever. And black pants.
Yeah, because Piper's looked more blue to me, or like a turquoisey.
Piper's
than
was green.
I'll have to look at it again. Phoebe's was definitely red.
Yes, Phoebe's was red. It was a zip-up hoodie, and she had like reddish brown pants for some reason. And Melinda's back in her normal clothes. And she goes to hand Phoebe back the dress, and Phoebe's like, oh, we can't take those back. Which, just in my mind, I'm going, what is she going to do with them? But Melinda's like, well, why not? And Phoebe's like, because that means you're leaving.
Aw.
Like,
Which, wasn't that the point of you all sitting around this table?
Yeah, a little bit. And, Melinda says she has to go, and Phoebe asks, why she can't stay and have the life she should have had. And Melinda's like, because this isn't my time?
Yeah.
Like,
this century ain't none of her business.
Yeah, it's like, this is your time. And Piper comes back with, we don't mind sharing, which made me smile. It was a cute little moment. And Melinda says that they've given her great joy and knows that they're good witches, women of strength and grace. And Phoebe takes Melinda's hand and holds it up to her heart and is like, tell me what you see. And Melinda closes her eyes and then gives like the smallest little gasp.
Mm-hmm.
And, says that she sees the futures of many more generations of her beautiful daughters and that her dreams are fulfilled, and she thanks Phoebe for letting her see that vision. Takes the locket from the bowl, puts it on, and they all join hands.
So here's my question.
Yes?
Locket still has Matthew. She was not pulled technically from the past, but from the ether and corporealized. That's a new word I'm using.
Sure.
So, where is the locket technically going?
To the ether. To the void. To non-existence.
I mean, that's really fucking handy for them.
You'd think, yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But so, Prue releases Melinda, who gets another blessed bee before she leaves. Starlight again. She disappears. And Phoebe says she's going to miss her. Piper agrees. And Prue says, we can always bring her back. And they all smile, and Phoebe does that cute little nose wrinkle thing, and then we get the end credits. But they never do bring her back.
No, but they can.
They can, but they never did. So, we are on to our ratings for the episode. Would you like to give your rating first?
Yes.
Okay.
I give it 9 out of 10 not sweet calves.
We are in agreement this week. I also gave it 9 out of 10, but I gave it 9 out of 10 stuffed spotted owls.
Yes.
Yes. Are we going to do our outfits for the episode?
I am all about Melinda Warren's dress.
Well, duh.
I'm all about that shit.
Do you have no other favorite outfits?
I mean, I'm always good for a blue fuzzy cable knit sweater. Turtleneck. Oh, that was good. I want that.
Yeah.
It looked really comfy.
Yeah. I liked the red sweater set that Prue wore at the beginning, the green fuzzy sweater outfit that Piper has at the end, and the red sweater with the scalloped edges that Phoebe was wearing when she was
went with a lot of red today.
Melinda. Yeah. Well, 2 out of 3.
Ain't bad.
Yeah.
As Meatloaf says.
Yeah. And I liked Melinda's modern dress.
Mm-hmm. That was
the
cute.
Blue plaid. It was stupid cute.
I think I own a skirt in that pattern.
It was adorable. All right. On to 12-year-old Kendra spell.
Mm-hmm. This one is short. Somewhat sweet. Very boring. It's called a slowing time spell. Everything is far too fast, so slow down time and make it last. Clearly, it's a continuation of my spell format where I use the word, so here's the thing I want you to do.
Yeah. So there you go. Quick and easy with that
Statement, solution.
Yeah. All right. It was a pretty good episode.
Mm-hmm.
We did pretty good. Now time for all the social media stuffs. You can email us at charmchats@gmail.com. You can get us on Facebook, Instagram, one of the Tumblrs.
Pinterest.
Yeah, technically we're on Pinterest.
Have we done anything on Pinterest yet?
Not really. I mean, a little.
Should probably get on that.
Yeah, I'll get there. Pinterest is not a priority.
That's fair.
Yeah, but all of those you can find us under Charm Chats.
Our website is charmchats.com.
You can get us on Patreon if you want to help out the podcast and ensure that it will be awesome.
Yes, and that we can afford soundproofing.
Yeah, because we definitely need it in this place.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be greatly appreciated. I mean, not begging.
No, not begging.
But,
politely requesting?
Yeah, just asking, if you can't understand, but, just asking politely. You can get us on Twitter and Tumblr under Charm Chats Pod.
Mm-hmm. You know, we never plug our personal stuff.
We don't. Do you want to?
We could.
9 episodes in.
We could start. I mean, hey, we post to that way more often anyway.
True.
And hey, if they like our Snapchat, they'll love our Snapchats.
So true.
So yeah, Snapchat, follow us. Because it's 90% blue.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want our personal Snapchats, I am at Ginger Blivett. It's spelled like it sounds.
And I'm at Cat Waterflame, because I have no imagination.
Yeah.
That is also our Twitter accounts.
Yeah, I'm Ginger Blivett on fucking everything.
And I'm, if I can be, Cat Waterflame on everything.
Uh-huh.
Or just Waterflame, but...
Well, yeah, that's your
hard.
Instagram.
Yeah, my Instagram and my YouTube channel are both Waterflame. But, you know.
Yeah, I don't think my YouTube is Ginger Blivett, but I don't really need people going to my YouTube, so please don't.
I don't really post much to my YouTube. Like, literally, my YouTube is mostly just driving and car washes. That's about all I really have on my YouTube.
Yeah, I think I did
random
a couple.
driving
I think I did a
videos.
couple of commute videos where I just recorded what I was saying in the car and like sing along and shit and stupid comments I make about the other cars.
And see, mine are literally just me driving in silence for like a couple of minutes. I was like, here, I'm going from point A to point B. Here, watch me do it. And like car washes and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's us.
That is indeed.
Blue, unfortunately, does not have a social media account.
No.
He used to have Facebook, and then the email got hacked, so I had to delete it.
Oh, that's sad.
Yes, but it's fine. He doesn't use it.
But yeah, so that's us done for another week. I'm excited about next week's episode.
I can't remember right now what next week's episode is, but I'm sure I will be excited once I know.
Next week's episode is Wicca Envy.
Okay, the title's not sparking anything, but I like the title.
Well, I'm not going to give any more than that.
Well, you shouldn't, because the things on Netflix are notoriously spoily.
Yeah, they really are.
We should talk about them.
Yeah.
Probably at the end of the episode. So as not to spoil the beginning, for those of you who, for whatever reason, don't watch the show, don't really want to watch the show, just like listening to us pedantically go through it.
Well, to be fair, even if you don't watch the show, you basically get the entire show.
This is true.
Just because of my
And
notes.
it takes 3 times as long.
Yep. But, you know, that's kind of the fun. I enjoy it. Do you enjoy it?
I enjoy it.
Then that's all that matters.
When we have, uninterrupted recording time, I enjoy it.
Yes. Hopefully we will have that again.
Yes.
At some point in the future. Alright. So that's us done for another week.
Yeah.
Bye!
Bye. Blue, say bye. He's wagging his tail. That amounts to something. If I
Alright.
could hold it up to the microphone, I would, but that would sound weird.
Yes.
So I won't.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Night-night. Don't let the warlocks bite.
Stay safe. Don't get murdered. Sorry, I've been listening to a different podcast. Never mind.
Yeah, Kat, we can't plagiarize.
Who do you think you are? Melinda Trump? Whatever the fuck her name is?
Melinda Trump. Oh my
I don't remember her fucking name.
Melania.
Sure.
We've been talking about Melinda Warren. I'll grant you that.
Yes.
But, oh my god, her name is Melania.
I don't give a shit. Do not care. Don't care at all. Do not care.
Okay, we're shutting this off now.
Okay.